Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to a very special event here tonight on JTN, the Autrey Waites Memorial Race here from the Texas Motor Speedway. I'm JoeTowNetwork here for JTN. I will be joined momentarily by my broadcast colleague Ricky Collette, but first, we want to throw it on down to Mr. Todd Wilson, who has done a lot of the heavy lifting to get us here tonight. Was a great close personal friend, cousin of Autrey Waites. We're going to throw it down to Todd for an intro.
Tonight, the All-Star Racing League would like to welcome everyone to the Autrey Waites Memorial Race at Texas Motor Speedway. There is but one primary objective for tonight's race, and that is to honor the life and legacy of one of our own, Autrey Waites, who is known to many as SUNDAYTRIP or just Trip. Although Autrey took the checkered flag in the Race of Life this past July, his memory and legacy lives on through all who knew him and the great works that he did through the years. This race tonight is fitting for Autrey because it captures two of his passions, the NR 2003 video game and his like-minded racers and friends here at ASR. Autrey raced this game since its inception and has enjoyed much success through the years, including winning countless championships and races and racking up an unbelievable amount of laps led, top 5, and top 10 finishes. He truly was a force to be reckoned with on the track, but at the same time was known for his uncommon generosity, in that he would help his fellow racer with honing their driving skills or even their setup building skills. He was even known to send his personal race setup to drivers who did not have one so that they could better enjoy the race and have a better experience. He was also a champion off the track, where he was widely known for his incredible generosity, loyalty, sharp mind, witty sense of humor, strong work ethic, and his football coaching prowess. Autrey made us all better people and always had the right words to say to encourage or lift spirits, even in the most trying of times. So tonight, as we reflect back on the life of Autrey Waites and we honor his life and legacy, we thank you for tuning in and we hope you enjoy the race.
I mean, once again, like to thank Todd Wilson for those inspiring words and setting the stage here tonight for everybody to get an understanding of what Autrey meant, not only to those that held his friendship dear, but also those that have joined the community over the years. And again, we send out our condolences as always. But tonight is more than just that. It's a celebration of all the things that Autrey stood for, and we're going to do some racing here at the Texas Motor Speedway. We're also going to bring you a bunch of other anecdotes here. Race kicks off around 8 p.m., so that's about 10 minutes from now, if not a little bit more. So we're going to bring you as many stories as we can throughout the night. About a man that so many here loved, and can't wait for you to hear all these stories. A bunch of great stories. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna run through them all throughout the night, and we're gonna dive right into them here in pre-race before this thing started.
Tonight, the All-Star Racing League would like to welcome everyone to the Autrey Waites Memorial Race.
Maybe a little longer than that. Always been a good friend. He used to help me run the server back in the day. Sure gonna miss that fella.
We are dealing with some technical difficulty, so I do apologize for that. But we're gonna keep things rolling here. Again, this is gonna be a race here at the Texas Motor Speedway tonight. It's gonna be a fantastic race, folks. You're not gonna want to turn that dial. You're not gonna want to miss any of these stories that we're gonna talk about here. It's gonna be great fun. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be healing for so many that need it right now. With the loss of such a great friend, but we're getting things set back up. I apologize for all this, but we're gonna get everything. We will be.
I've been knowing Autrey for a long time, about 14, 15 years, maybe a little longer than that. Always been a good friend. He used to help me run the server back in the day, and sure gonna miss that fella.
You know, Autrey was a man of many talents, and one of his talents was gardening. And he just had some of the most incredible gardens that you had ever seen. And I was at an event one day, and there was on display some African horn melons, and they were brought by someone who had visited Africa. And anyway, they had brought them back to the U.S. and anyway, they were being used in this nice display. And so I walked up to the person who had brought these, and I said, "Hey, do you care if I have one of these? I'd like to show it to a friend of mine." So she said, "Sure, you can have one." And anyway, I brought it out. I took it out to Autrey's house, and I was like, "Autrey, what do you think of this?" I said, "Do you think you could ever grow something like this?" And I just said that on a whim, not thinking that he was going to take that as a challenge, but he took that as a challenge. And I want you to know that he was able to take the seeds from that fruit and grow African horn melons in his garden. And I remembered one day I went out to his house and he said, "Todd, come out to the garden. I want to show you something." And anyway, he had a spot out there, and sure enough, there it was. He had grown an African horn melon, and I remember being so impressed that he had done that. But that was Autry. There was no challenge too great for him to tackle, and he certainly proved that with growing an African horn melon in his garden.
I didn't know Autrey very long, but I grew to respect him and love the man. I remember the first night I joined ASR. He was in there for the race and he gave me pointers on how to set up my car and how to drive the track. Man didn't even know me, and I just thought that was a very generous thing to do. I really miss racing with him, miss his laugh. He always had something funny to say. He was just a joy to be around. I'm really going to miss him. Rest in peace, Autry, and God bless you.
I would describe Autrey as a very likable person. Every time we would hang out in the TeamSpeak calls, Everyone would just sit around, listen to him talk. We'd all laugh and have a good time listening to him. And then on the racetrack, he wouldn't give you any room. He was an alpha dog on the racetrack. He wouldn't give you any room. He'd pinch you. He'd make you earn that spot on the track. So he was two different people inside the race car and outside. Just a lot of fun to hang out with. Liked him a lot, and definitely made a huge impact on me and my racing career for sure. He's taught me a lot, and things that he's taught me he's stuck with me to this day, and I will still use to this day. You know, he would help me with setups and taught me how to build my cars and everything.
I met Autrey many years ago. We actually raced in another league, but there was only one Sunday trip in this racing since it's been out. And I raced with him for years. Just since he started ASR is when we became even closer and talked more, started emailing, sending jokes back and forth. He's a great guy, and he always did and was willing to help anybody. He was a clean racer. He was fast. You can't say nothing bad about him. He didn't have nothing bad to say about anybody. He's just an awesome person, awesome racer, awesome friend. And I don't think you'll meet anybody in this league that knew Autrey that would say anything bad about him.
The first time that I ever ran into Autrey, he came and raced at a server called PDR. He had to run around in the back of the pack because his computer was it was an E-machine, and it was just absolute pretty much junk. And I said, "Hell, send that computer to me." He put it all together, sent it to me. Whenever it got delivered to my house, the funniest thing I ever saw in my life, it took me 45 minutes to get to the machine itself. Next time I talked to him, I said, "Autrey," I says, "did you expect him to fly over the house and just drop it out in my yard or something? Because it would have survived." That's Autrey. Uh, and I fixed it for him. Actually, what I done is took some of the parts that he had, bought some other parts that matched up with his motherboard and all that stuff, and then sent it back to him. As far as I know, it was still there at his house under the bed whenever he passed. He was happy with that. Whenever he came over and started racing with us, whenever I first got to know Autrey at PDR, it was a funny place because they call it Pro Drivers Racing, and we raced at 2:00 and then 5:00 on Saturday. And 2:00 they called us Professional Drivers Racing, and then by 5:00 we were Four Drunks Racing. And there was some very colorful language used in there whenever we would greet somebody. And Autrey says, "I've found a home."
I believe that everybody's got a good story about Trip. Autrey was one of those kind of people that you didn't want to cross him, but he didn't have any enemies in the world. And I recall one time when I was fairly new to all-star racing that I noticed that he had been running in the back, and he was doing real well with his gas mileage. I asked him if I could stay back with him. He said, "Sure." He said, "But when it's time to go, don't leave me hanging." Well, apparently he was having a little problem with the setup and had a little damage. I hung with him, and then I got around him, and we started moving up to the front. And when we got to the front, stupid me went down low to pick up more cars in the draft in order to win the race, and I left Autrey hung out to dry. And boy, he got on to me like white on rice. And ever since that day, I told myself, if you're ever around Autrey, whatever you do, don't leave him hanging out to dry. Other than that, and his love for I believe that everybody's got a good story about Trip. Autrey was one of those kind of people that you didn't want to cross him, but he didn't have any enemies in the world. And I recall one time when I was fairly new to all-star racing that I noticed that he had been running in the back, and he was doing real well with his gas mileage. I asked him if I could stay back with him. He said, "Sure." He said, "But when it's time to go, don't leave me hanging." Well, apparently He was having a little problem with the setup and had a little damage. I hung with him, and then I got around him, and we started moving up to the front. And when we got to the front, stupid me went down low to pick up more cars in the draft in order to win the race, and I left Autrey hung out to dry. And boy, he got on to me like white on rice. And ever since that day, I told myself, if you're ever around Autrey, whatever you do, don't leave him hanging out to dry. Other than that, and his love for good, fresh, homegrown tomato sandwiches, he was always a pleasant voice to talk to, always very helpful to the league, and contributed setups, helps for new people that came in. He was always there for us, and he loved Alabama. And I hope that my tribute car that I painted up will do him the honor he deserves.
Memorable moments on the racetrack with Autrey. This is a good question. One of the races that comes to my mind is a race from 2012 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We were in the Saturday night stock car mod, CTS Physics, and the particular fixed setup we had that evening was very loose, and the version of Atlanta that we were running that evening was a tire eater. And anyway, Autrey was running 5th and I was running 3rd, and at the time we were at 1st and 2nd in the championship. And anyway, it came down to we had a caution with about 10 laps to go in the race, and Autrey whispered to me and he said, "Todd, are you going to pit?" And I said, "No, I'm going to stay out. I'm not going to give up all this track position." Well, he said, "I think I'm going to pit," and he pitted, and he was the only car that came down pit road in that race, or at that time. And at that moment in the race, and so he restarted out back like 15th place, and here I was thinking, man, I'm going to gain a lot of points on Autrey tonight. He just made a big mistake. Well, little did I know, he knew what he was doing. And on the restart, we had about 5 laps to go. He was coming through the field like a hot knife through butter. Man, he was just mowing people down. He was on my bumper in 2 laps, and easily disposed of me, and went up and got 2nd and got 1st. He took the lead going into the first corner on the last lap, came around, took that checkered flag, went from 15th to 1st in 5 laps, and and he went on to win the championship that season. And that was one of the things about Autrey. He was a smart racer, a master of strategy. You always had to keep your eye on Autrey because he was always calculating and cooking up some kind of strategy in these races. And that night, he certainly proved to us that he was the master of strategy and winning that race. And I will never forget that race. And that was one of his proudest moments and one that he was always willing to talk about and recount.
And we're back. Hopefully, you got to hear a bunch of great stories there in pre-race. Had some server issues. So many people came out, Ricky, just to come take part in this event. The server had to be reset to make sure we could accommodate the large field. So, always love to see that. It just shows you how much Autrey meant to all these guys.
Oh yeah, definitely, and got a little crowded there. Got to get in. I couldn't even get up into the booth here till now. So hi, glad we jumping in here for tonight's race. Should be for a good one though. It's fantastic to see all these guys coming out. Just having a big old race here, huge field tonight. I rarely ever see a full field at Texas, any league, and that's fantastic to see all these guys wanting to come out and have some fun, do a great race for a good cause.
Also wanted to give a shout out to Autrey's sons. We hope you're watching, Jimmy, Chris, and Mike. Our condolences go out to you, your family, and hopefully tonight we can get your mind off of things for a couple hours here. And these guys are ready to put on a great show here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Watching the 72 Wayne Dinger. Running a variant of one of Autrey's cars. Always loved the bright colors. Did old SUNDAYTRIP. Got the Menards colors on that number 72, and also has the SUNDAYTRIP moniker on the front windshield.
Great looking paints out here tonight too.
A lot of great looking paints. I'm going to take you through a bunch of them here throughout the night. Here's the 077 Donnie Garrett. Donnie had raced with Autrey all the way back since 2005. There's likeness on the hood here tonight. Or on the side. The 16 of Adam, I'm going to get this wrong, then Tempowski, out of Poland, believe it or not. One of Autrey's apprentices throughout the year, hasn't been over here in a while, but running the 16 tonight. Autrey was a big Greg Biffle fan. Got the running the 16 Greg Biffle 3M Ford Fusion here.
Now, Joe, I'm just taking a look around here tonight, again with that big field here. It's going to make this interesting for this version of Texas that we're running, running SPP Texas. So think of like classic Texas, like, I don't know, somewhere in the midway of the pavement's life. So these guys are running a little higher up off the track than that bottom lane. There might actually be a second lane up there if they so choose to venture as we're going to qualifying. I think, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think we're going to see a lot of moving around here on track? Do you think they're going to filter around that bottom lane?
I think there's...
we've run this track a few times, but we usually don't see this big of a showing. So I think that's going to change up a little bit about how these guys are going to have to attack the track.
I think there's a lot of incentive for these guys out here to win form on this stage. So any way you can get to the front, even if it's maybe not the traditional perceived best way to get around this Texas Motor Speedway, I think they're going to be venturing up closer and closer to that wall as the night goes on. We saw it. We were actually here with the All-Star race back in June with ASR. We saw it back in June. It was a fantastic race there, and we saw that those two lines start working, right? We saw guys able to make the outside line stick, make it work. Especially, surprisingly enough, once the tires started going. You and I both know, turn 2, it doesn't look tricky here, but it's always a trouble spot for these drivers.
Yeah, it definitely is. Very tight coming off of turn 2. That wall just comes up and grabs you. A lot of what always hinders Texas as a multi-lane track has been turn 2 there. So, but like you said, we saw that these guys started to set up 2 different lines that are coming off that turn last time we were here. So I think we're going to see more of that. These guys being able to venture up there. Interesting factor too, fixed setup here tonight. So everyone on similar footing. So it's going to be interesting to see how people play tires too, with a longer race here, a decent amount of time out on track, 151 laps. I think that's give or take, right? For
140 tonight.
The green, white checkered. So that might actually be a little less than that.
134.
A longer race here. There's going to be a lot of tire wear these guys got to focus on, a lot of tire heat. And that right front usually cooks pretty hard off of turn 2 if you're running the car, even a little bit snug. So that's going to play into this as well tonight. who can manage our stuff over the run the best.
It's always a good time to bring up our race preview. Again, this is the Texas Motor Speedway 1.5 miles, so 134 laps tonight. We got extra laps cooked into the server in case we need those overtime finishes. Those can always get very tricky down at the end of this one. I'm Joe. He's Ricky here for JTN. Again, can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you haven't already. It helps support us. It also helps support all these guys that are looking and will most definitely put on a great show here tonight at Texas.
Around right now, looks like qualifying is just about to wrap up here. We're gonna have our starting lineup
quick.
all sorted out, Joe.
It was quick. They were ready to go.
They were very ready to go.
Again, can't thank all the admins here at All Star Racing for all they've done to put this event together, for giving us the opportunity, the privilege, the honor to come out here and call this race, and we are so excited for it. We hope you are too. And Ricky, I know you're really excited for this next part. Go ahead and take us through tonight's starting lineup.
All right, with pleasure. For tonight's race, we got a big field here, so it might take me the full... Oh, they put it to 10 minutes happy hour, so I got plenty of time. Look at the field here tonight. Again, big field. Looks like going to be 34 cars. I know there was some variance on how many people were going to get in. I know I'm sure there was some open slots needed for TV and all that. So for tonight, 34 cars starting tonight's race here at Texas. Sitting on the pole at a time of 27.455 seconds. That 416 car of ASR Todd.
Todd Wilson taking that 416. Yeah. That was Autrey's number. Taking it for one final spin here tonight in Texas.
Good time, too. No one else got in that 27.4 range, so fantastic outlap that he set up there. Starting on the front row with the 416 will be the 21 of Randy Woe. Chris Elliott in the 9 will start third tonight. Bob Dixon, the 43, will roll off fourth. Top 5 will conclude with the 77 of Donnie Garrett. Darrell Pace in the 75 will start 6th. Dean Gotro in the 060 will roll off in the 7th spot. ASR Alfman in the 19 will roll off in the 8th position, and Jeremy Menifee will roll off from 9th in the 3 car. Just talking about him, Joe, that 10 car, that 16 car, of Adam Zastampowski will be rolling off from the top 10 position in that 16 machine. I think I just repeated myself 5 times there, but I forgot if I called him the 10 car, I called him the 16 car, but he's a 16 in the 10th spot, so got it sorted out. Brooke in the 08 will roll off in the 11th position. Tyler Hunter in the 12 will start Tyler Hunter in the 70th will start 12. I apologize. I'm trying to read through these quick. Rolling off for the 13th position will be the 2 of Nick Curry. ASR DC 88 in the 88 will start from the 14th position. Ryan Johnson, the 59, will start 15th. Starting from 16th spot will be the 12 of Gary Mingus. 00 of Mike Ireland will roll off from the 17th spot this evening. ASR GA 98 in the 98 will start 18th. Jeffrey Elliott in the 56 will start 19th. And rolling off, capping off our top 20 here will be John Godfrey in the 03 car. Landy Pavlon, the 68, will start in the 21st position tonight. The 048 car of Herbert Solomon will start from the 22nd position. And he will be the last car to take a time in qualifying. So the rest of the field picked by random draws. And of that grouping, in the 23rd spot in the 7 car will be the ASR Postal. From 25th will be the 5 car of Dan Kem. From 26th will be the 05 car, Stanley. Slowpoke in the 8 car will roll off in the 27th position. In 28th will be the 6 of Billy Rose. 29th will be the 33 of BSR Jimmy Dale. ASR Dinger, talked about him earlier, in that 72 car will roll off in the 30th position. ASR Jimmy J in that 48 will roll off in the 31st spot. In 32nd will be the 47 machine of Too Fast Todd. Ed Vaughn in the 92 will start from the 33rd spot. ASR HUD in the 4 will start from the 34th spot. And last car on the field, long way to go tonight for the 81 machine of ASR Berkey in that 35th position. And that's going to be our starting lineup for tonight. Joe, if it was a 5-minute happy hour, I would have taken up the whole 5 minutes. So
It's a good thing.
Can I get brownie points for that?
Yeah, your brownie's in the mail.
Good.
34, 35. What was our exact count at the end? Because we were 35 on the night here.
The old 3-5.
Plus us two knuckleheads up here in the booth.
Yeah, one more, we would have technically had a full chartered field.
Can you imagine?
In the legal sense, we'd have a full field. Nah, looks fantastic tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. Like we said, fake setup, so these guys are going to be on very even footing. That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to be as fast as each other. You know, people figure out Texas a lot quicker than each other. A lot of this is going to come down to driver finesse. But man, there's going to be a lot of guys out there tonight. You're really not going to want to set yourself back with pit road speed penalties, any kind of lineup penalties. You don't want to get caught in wrecks. You don't want to spin out. You don't want to have mishaps on pit road. If we get to green flag pit stops, we have to be very careful with green flag pit stops. There's a lot of factors here tonight that just say do not be in the back here, because you can't make your way up through the fields quickly like you do when we see these races, like we have done the past few weeks, where you see like a 20-car field, where you can kind of see the front even if you're sitting on the back end of the field. You're not going to be able to see that tonight. You're going to be in your own zip code there when you sit back at 35th. So it's going to take some meticulous work by those guys in the back to get to the front. And once you get up front, you really don't want to give that up.
Don't want to lose the track position tonight. You'll also notice cars with the 416 on the roof, all tribute schemes to Autrey. We'll try to run you through those as the night moves on.
Looking around here, Joe, I'm already taking notice. A lot of people running that middle lane or higher, not really venturing even remotely down to the bottom lane right now, running around on track. So interesting to already see everyone venturing up there in practice, I guess, just to kind of get a feel, see if how well those multiple lines work. I see the 16 of Zemtempowski. Sorry, I got braces in, so P sounds are a little hard for me. I see the 16 there was actually trying to roll the top like up against the wall in turn 1 and 2, trying to test out that upper lane, and actually seemed like it held pretty well for him. So, and I'm thinking we're going to see, we're talking about this, I think these guys really are going to start venturing around, like you said, Joe, and trying to experiment with lines early on in the race here, trying to see if they can find a way to get off that bottom lane to make some ground up on these guys.
What's the end goal when you're trying to move up? Are you looking for anything out of the car? I mean, everyone's got the same stuff. You can't really make adjustments as the race goes on. So those adjustments, really, they have to come from you starting to venture out there on the racetrack, right?
Yeah, and what you're looking for when you venture up there, it's a little different in terms of your entry into the turn, when you're letting off the gas, how much wheel you're putting into it. When you get back on the gas, you can roll a lot more momentum near the top there, but depending on how the setup is, sometimes you're putting more wheel into it being up there. There's a lot of things. You'll know it's working if you hop up there and you are immediately gaining ground on people. They're usually going to have the run through the turn on the bottom, but if you're hanging with them up top at a bare minimum, that probably means you have speed, because they're going to get a great run coming onto the straightaways. That top lane's always gets great momentum coming off the turn. It's just most Texas that we come to,
XI,
the bottom lane's so good that the run that you get throwing it to the bottom in turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is so strong that any kind of run that you get using the top lane coming onto the front or back straightaway is basically nullified by the run that they're getting on the bottom there. This version doesn't seem to be doing that right now. It seems like these guys are getting really good runs running that high line, enough that it can kind of fight back against that low line when they have the advantage in the corners.
Draft's going to play a big role here tonight, too, with the bigger pack. If you lose that draft early on, or we get strung out single file, it's going to be really tough to make up that ground once these guys start getting single file. The tires wear in. There's the 416 piloted tonight for the final time by Todd Wilson. starting on the pole tonight. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on the driver of that 416 Chevrolet, but I have a feeling he'll do just fine under the pressure.
Well, you know, starting right on the pole, about a tenth of a second faster than anyone else. You know, that's a
helps alleviate.
That's
some
a good.
of it.
That's a good starting point. So, I think he'll do just fine here tonight, considering that. But you know, it's a long race, so there's 34 other guys in the field here right now that want that win too. They want to make a big showing here right now tonight. So, you know, it's gonna be a chess match. I think you can't count anyone out of this in this entire field until we get down to that checkered flag.
What do you think the cutoff point is? Like, say your guy's starting out back. Where do you want to be 50 laps into this race? Where do you want to be 100 laps in? But I mean, obviously you want to be out front. What would be the farthest back you'd be okay with being as these laps tick on?
Man, 50 laps into the race, that's almost a third of the race. That's probably a little more than a third of the race, actually. I would say I want to be in the top 10 by then.
Yeah.
If you got a fast car and you can get around this joint, and I think you could just start clicking these guys off pretty easily. I want to be in the top 10 by the time they get around by lap 50. I don't want to have to sit around in the back trying to fight guys for positions, because it's just going to get harder and harder the longer you're back there, because the intensity is just going to keep ramping up for everyone.
And that's what's going to be so important for these guys is making sure they take note of how aggressive the guys around them are being. We'll talk about it throughout the night, but there's some drivers here that have not raced here at ASR in a while, so having to knock some of the rust off here tonight, but also, you know, you're driving around maybe some unfamiliar faces. Definitely gonna pose a very unique challenge here tonight. Want to also talk about the pace car here tonight, painted up by Bergie. Did a fantastic job with a great tribute pace car for this race here tonight from Texas. I'll try to get you some good images of it throughout the night. There you see the back of it with the 416. Also got the 416 on the side. But field lining up right now.
Drivers, start your engines!
As they're given the command, and these 35 drivers, Ricky, they're ready to go racing here from the Texas Motor Speedway.
Ready to go, ready to roll. Wait time's over. It's time to race here. These guys getting ready, lining up. Gonna do a single lap around the track here behind that pace car like we were just talking about, Joe. But man, look at the size of this field as these guys come creeping off pit road here.
There you see some good shots of that number 416 pace car. Like you said, a massive field here tonight. Sometimes that leads to issues, and if you're one of the guys out back, you're hoping you can stay out of it, or at least long enough for this field to thin out to your liking. Todd Wilson starts on the pole with Randy Wall with his outside. Chris Elliott, Bob Dixon make up row number 2. Threes as the 077 Don Garrett and the 15 of Allen. I'm Alphonse. Alfman. There we go. Pace car makes the hard left turn down the pit lane to help save me. And we get ready to go green flag racing here in the Autrey Waites Memorial.
Ray 416 hops out to the lead there. Gets a little bit away from that 21 already. These guys coming barreling off of turn 2, side by side by side.
Everybody gets through there okay.
Get through okay. Darrell Pace 75 slow on the apron. Looks like he's just getting up to speed like he started on pit road.
Have to be careful as these leaders come by at full song. Battle on right now for the 4th position. Bob Dixon going to hold on to it.
A little further back here, that 10th spot, Curry in the car in the 08. They have Rook side by side. Can't get away from each other right now. Just rolling around side by side for the entire first lap here. Looks like right now Rook's starting to get a little bit of an advantage, but you see the 2 kind of coming back again. It looks like the 08's cleared him, but I don't know if he's going to be able to pull in, and he does, so... Interestingly enough, though, these guys kind of splitting up into 2 packs almost. Right behind the 7th of ASR Postal in 22nd. Billy Rose in the 6th, 23rd's a few seconds behind him, and then there's a whole cluster of guys back here. It'll be interesting for these guys that start at the back that have to move their way to the front, because the whole pack's kind of separating.
Pack separate. Things working their way. Getting this race underway. Working lap number 4. Cameras just went out. We're gonna get those back up for you momentarily here. But Ricky, what are you noticing so far early on in this one?
Listen, early on is that 416 is pretty fast, but that 21 staying right with him. Guys running pretty even lap times. You were talking about that draft. I think that draft's having more an effect than I was thinking it was gonna, but I think it's more akin to what you were talking about, Joe. 21 seems to be staying with the 416 pretty well. Like he's getting really good straightaway speed, getting a good run here off turn 2. But the 9's been able to stay pulled up to him. The 43's pulled up to him. The 77, the 60. This entire top 10 is kind of just nose to tail right now. And everyone kind of venturing around, trying to shuffle about to find a line here. A little further up, 15's trying to get to the inside of the 060 at Gotro. Nothing yet for Alfman there, but then right ahead of him, Donnie Garrett and Bob Dixon had a side-by-side moment cleared up. Here comes Randy Woe again at 21, really starting to rear down this 416 right on his back bumper, just trying to look for a second line there. It almost seems like he had some clean air on that nose of that Dodge Charger to see if he can make a pass here on Todd. Oh, we got a car in the grass. 15 of Alphaman. Oh, hard into the outside wall. Grabs the 2. And they keep it straight. Oh, we got another car in the wall.
Slingshot.
12 gets in the wall. Kerry Mingus. They all keep it straight. And we stay green. How about that?
How about that?
Looks like 15 actually just hooked the grass a little bit in the front straightaway, actually coming off of turn 4, and the car was pretty much sideways the entire way through the tri-oval. Caught the grass again, trying to save it. Hooked the 2 a little bit, and they both take a pretty good wallop to that outside wall, but they kept it straight. Fantastic save by those guys, and 12 that also got in the wall. As we were talking about that, Donnie Garrett got to the inside of Bob Dixon here. They're racing side by side for the 4th position. Let this top 3 start to pull away, but Dean Gocher on that 060, now he's in the mix here. He wants that 4th spot. He's trying to figure out if he goes with the 43 with Dixon or if he goes down low with Garrett.
The shortest way around the track sometimes seems like it's fast, right? Sure.
Sometimes.
But if you can keep up that speed as Dixon did on the outside, you can maintain your position and start to pull away, because that guy in the bottom just starts heating up those tires to a point that it is not comfortable to be the guy that's kind of just running on that bottom, cranking that wheel hard to the left.
I think Bob Dixon's pretty handedly going to hang on to this 4th position here for a little bit. But right now, let that top 3 kind of splinter off, but now that the 43's gotten back ahead and kind of has some elbow room to start moving around the track again, it looks like he does have that draft. I would imagine if this second lane's still got some tires in them, they're going to start pulling up here back to these leaders. 70 of Tyler Hunter is starting to lose some positions here from the top 10 spot. 16 got underneath him. Looks like he's a little hung up on that outside right now. Got the 88 getting to his inside, and the 59 of Ryan Johnson right behind him trying to rear down on that 70 machine.
Well, Tyler Hunter won the All-Star race here back in June, so knows how to get it done at the Texas Motor Speedway, but right now struggling in that Dr. Pepper Camaro.
And problem is, too, if you're running the bottom a lot, you kind of get... When you get caught in that outside line, it's kind of like a deer in the headlights moment. Like, you get caught up there, you haven't prepared to be up there yet. You'll lose a few positions early on to it just because you're kind of getting used to running that alternate line. But Hunter's starting to seem like he's stemming the bleeding here, but did lose about 3 positions to these guys.
Try to restore our ticker and lap counter under our once we get a yellow here tonight. Apologies for that. Nick Curry to the inside of Tyler Hunter for position there.
'88's getting to the inside of the 16 machine of Zastampowski. 88's made the pass pretty quickly. Took the 56 of Jeffrey Elliott with him in that Family Channel car, that old Ted Musgrave machine there.
Made the pass, now out front in the clean air. That's got to feel good on the front of your race car, doesn't it?
That feels fantastic now on the front of your race car, especially at a 1.5 miles where draft is a big thing. It really helps those front tires, I would say. Right now, a little further back here, Bob Dixon getting a challenge again from Donnie Garrett in the 77. Garrett grazing that grass a little bit. You got to be careful about that grass, but gets to the inside of Dixon's going to throw it in deep here into turn 1. Can't make it work just yet. Dixon's going to pull back ahead. Hang on to it. Interestingly enough, looks like that low line is starting to go away almost. Like, you can't really hold it down there and throw it into turn 1 and hold it down by that paint. All these guys all starting to venture up about a lane up the track.
Starting to venture their way up here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Currently working lap number
16.
16. With the 416 of Todd Wilson leading. Randy Waugh in second, Chris Elliott rounding out your top 3.
Through the field right now, 77 to Donnie Garrett. Really been hanging on to this 43 here. Really been hanging on to this 43. Will not let Bob Dixon get away. Just can't find the spot to make the move at. These two just been glued to each other this entire race. A little further back, 56 Jeffrey Elliott starting to size up that 88 machine. Panned up like Robbie Gordon's old car. They're going to go side by side here in turn 3. 56 has a good run. You can see he gets tight there, though, coming off the turn, and kind of has to chase it a little bit to keep off of the 88, so he's going to fall back behind the 88 car. Going to hang on to that 9th position, but then he goes wide. 88 goes way wide, hits the outside wall, big hit. 56 going to dive down the track. Everyone's scrambling here. I don't know what happened there. It got very tight, it looks like. DC88 there did, because now he's back up to speed, but just went to turn 1 there. It looked like the car wasn't turning, Joe.
Cars not turning. Cars are starting to go away from these drivers as those tires wear. That car's going to get tight, but also that right side damage now, you saw it pretty severe on that 88 Singular Wireless Chevrolet. A past paint scheme as a replica. One of Tripp's old Truck Series rides. Tyler Hunter now, though, on the back foot. He saw the window open, Ricky, to try to make a pass on the outside. Just wasn't open long enough for him to get it done.
Just not long enough just yet. You see this? These guys really starting to vie each other for position a little further back here. From 10th on back, we got a little bit of a cluster. That 56 Jeffrey Elliott making another run to the inside of the 88. Going to try to take that 59 Ryan Johnson with him. These guys really are starting to shuffle about here in the back. Half of that top 10. Everyone's starting to kind of cluster together here at race for position. But right now, already got a car down on pit road. It looks like the 15 machine, I believe. Yeah, the ASR Alfman already down here. The 2 car of Curry also down here on pit road.
That's a little troubling.
Might be a little troubling, depending on how these guys are strategizing the tires.
I mean, I didn't think they were wearing out that bad, did you?
I don't know, but you can see it that these guys are running quite tight around here. It's plausible that in the draft there that they're burning out that right front pretty hard.
Single file throughout most of the field. Ryan Johnson decides to switch that up, going to go to the inside of Jeffrey Elliott there in the 56. 3 numbers separate those two, but also about 3 feet going through turns 1 and 2.
33 Bob Dixon gets on by the 9 up here. Chris Elliott and Donnie Garrett's going to go with him. So 2 guys leapfrog that 9 machine. That's interesting development here because that 9 of Elliott's been up in that 3rd spot the entire 24 laps that we've run here. Been holding on to that 3rd spot pretty well, though. Looks like Tyler's starting to go away in that machine.
Like Doritos?
I do like Doritos. I am quite fond of them. I don't think anyone actually dislikes Doritos. I defy you to find a person that would go, yeah, like, I don't like Doritos.
Don't like and hate are 2 different things.
Yeah, but I mean, even like don't like a small disdain for them, not even hate.
I'm sure there's out there. Well, while things have settled down, Ireland spots here, big close moment there. Solomon in the 048. While things have settled down, we're gonna step away for just a moment here on JTN. We're gonna get those graphics reset for you, so that way get up-to-date information from our ticker and our lap scores. So that way you can stay up to date with everything here on JTN. We will be right back.
I stopped talking about Doritos. I ain't eat dinner yet. Oh.
Back live here, and of course, right as we step away, caution on the Speedway.
I blame the Doritos.
Blame the Doritos.
Looks like the 88 machine at ASR DC88 had been dropping back a little bit in the 15th spot, was racing side by side with the 68 car of Landy Pavlon. Just made a little bit of contact there going into turn 3. The 88 went around. Side slapped the wall pretty hard. That's going to be a hard shot. And then 12 car Gary Mingus comes into the picture. Nowhere to go. I think actually almost gets hooked by the lag because it was so close. And then the 33 of Jimmy Dale. Looks like he spins out trying to slow up for the wreck. Gets hard into the side of the 88 there. 88 almost goes over.
Of course, shut the cameras off. Do our hard reset. Get those graphics back working. Yeah? Don't have the footage. So what Ricky said is what happened.
What I said was real.
Gotta use your imagination just a little
The truth
bit.
and nothing but the truth.
Apologies, folks. It has been a wacky night here. Start this one, but first pit stops of the night coming on lap 28 of 134. Everybody coming down the pit lane.
Yeah, everyone's going to take 4 tires here easily. But one thing quite commendable, Joe, with this being a field, the fact that we made it 30 laps totally green. You know, sometimes early in these races, you think that there's going to be a little bit more chaos just because of on cold tires. But these guys did a very good job of keeping things organized and clean out there.
Great job. And while we're under some of these yellows tonight, we're also going to take a couple moments to talk with some of these drivers. Can't find him. There's a 70. Wait for him to get off of the pit lane. Hey, old dinger, you got a copy down there?
I sure do.
Hey, so we wanted to take a moment to talk with you because you're running a very special car out there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
The Menards used to be number 416. I'm running it in honor of Autrey Waites. Dear friend, rest his soul. He was a tough competitor, fair competitor, and a really good friend for me. I'm from Canada, and as soon as I started racing with him, we connected. I do miss him a lot. I'm sure everyone here tonight misses him a lot, and this is for him. I hope we're putting on a very good show for him, and we do miss you, my friend. Take care up there. Rest in peace.
You're putting on a great show tonight. How much, I'll ask you one question, then we'll let you go, because I know there's a lot of emotions running through tonight, and what does it mean, though, to see so many, for you guys as a whole? You know, it's a big family here at All-Star, and obviously when one family member hurts, everybody hurts. What does it mean to see such a great turnout here tonight?
Oh, it's just heartfelt, like honest to goodness. All these guys tonight taking the time out to come out and race in honor of Autrey. We've all raced him over throughout the years. I've been doing this game for 19 years almost, since its infancy, and I've raced Autrey for the last 13 of them. It's like I say, everybody here is honored to be here tonight.
Dinger, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I know it's really busy down there on track with all these guys here. Good luck throughout the rest of this one, and go get that 72/416 Menard Chevrolet up towards the front.
Thank you, Joe. We'll give it our best shot for sure.
It's Dinger, driver of the number 72 tonight. Menard's color, honor of Autrey Waites. Ricky, I believe we'll be going back green this next time by. We will be. It's been a spectacular showing of support here tonight with just, again, and I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, because just how many folks have come out for this race, how much it means to all these guys. It's great to see.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see all these guys coming out and the outpouring of support there, and it's just a great thing to see.
You're going back green. Pace car will pull off, just to refresh you on the All-Star Racing rules. Pace car's going to pull off, then we're going to double up, go green flag racing the next time by. The leader, in this case Todd Wilson in that 416, will call us back to green when he gets to the line. So, pace car will pull off. We won't be going back green until we get back around.
These guys just filtering around right now, waiting on it for the pace car to go away so that they can get all squared up and ready to roll here.
Oh, I guess we're going back green. Green flag once again
green
here.
Right here. Where are you getting your intel from here, Joe?
I don't know.
Already though, side by side here, 56 at the inside of the 08 of Rook. Rook really wiggles up the track. 56 going to have a great run here off turn 2, but can he pull it off? Looks like the 08's going to try to come back, but he's a little loose.
I think those
up
guys.
Front, the 21's to the inside of ASR Todd. That 416 is about for a lead. Side by side here, coming off of turn 4, Joe.
It's roll tide roll on the bottom. Menard's on the outside. Wilson holds on to that top spot as we're under yellow.
Oh, under yellow again. Looks like for the 7, the Postal, and the 68 car.
To that replay. Like 68. Pavlon gonna go for a little bit of a spin in that Lexus. There are a lot of guys down there in turns 1 and 2 hitting that apron.
Yeah, looks like the 81 has a moment in front of him. He checks up, and on those cold tires, the car just overcorrects and spins out.
And Postal's gonna go for a spin too, avoids hitting the 2 of Nicholas Curry. Postal running that Bobby Allison throwback scheme that Autrey loved. Under yellow for the second time here tonight. You had to jinx them, of course. As you said, oh, we went 30-ish laps, and
Well, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Why you gotta be like that?
Because I don't... Because I just generally jinx things.
But it's not a JTN jinx.
No.
First attempt down the pit lane. Doesn't look like we're going to have many takers, if at all. You're maybe one of those guys towards the back. Do you dive down the pit lane, just top off on fuel?
Yeah, some people could if they want to.
Yeah, you see some takers. Curry. I think Jimmy Dale in 33, the 15. Of Alfie. Couple takers. Beautiful night here. Fort Worth, though, looking on Texas Motor Speedway for this, the Autrey Waites Memorial Race. Organized by the All-Star Racing League. Do you want to hear some fun facts?
Sure. Let's hear some fun facts.
So, Autrey was an admin here at ASR for many, many years. Raced with his sons in the game, Jimmy, Chris, and Mike, and loved these 1.5 miles. And of course, this was one of his favorites. Also, Atlanta, the sister track to the Texas Motor Speedway, of course. But one of the really cool things, reading through the notes, this one caught my attention because sometimes it's something you don't see with a lot of folks, but was a big advocate for open setup racing. And a lot of guys now, they want to do, tonight we're doing fixed setup, and I think that's more of a convenience of an ease for these guys so they can really push the limits of the car. They don't have to focus on crafting a setup for months on end like some of these guys would. But a guy was an advocate for those open setup races, Ricky, and that's something you don't hear about a lot anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's kind of almost it's not a lost art, but it's one of those things that not a lot of people go super hard on those anymore. So that's great. That's always fantastic to that's always fantastic to hear that people are still really committed to that, because they're always a lot of fun.
And this setup we're running here tonight too is one of his setups that he worked on, that he crafted. So still giving back to the game. So we're gonna go back green flag racing. Todd Wilson, Randy Waugh 1-2, and Donnie in that 077 gonna line up third here for the restart. Down into the restart zone we go. Green flag. We're back underway here from Texas. Everybody taking a little easier through turns 1 and 2 this time.
They get a little bit easier, but these guys are really single filed out for the moment. Trying to get their bearings after that last caution happened very quickly, but like you said, everyone's very spread out. Right now, Chris Elliott already starting to size up Bob Dixon in this 43 here for that 4th spot.
You saw Elliott with a lot of really good pace on the short run. Now again, everyone's got the same setup, so that has to go back to the way the guy's driving the car, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's all you can do here. That's all you can do here, because without those... Oh, we got another caution here. 15 is around, and it looks like the 048 is involved as well.
48 slow in the grass. Let's get you a replay. An instant up ahead. 68 and all coming off a turn number 4.
Looks like the 68, yeah, 68 got into the wall. And looks like everyone kind of stacked up on that.
Yeah, 15, nowhere to go, makes contact. See, 68, he's into the walls and losing all that speed, got that wall glue going.
So we're back out under caution here. Now these guys might hit.
Now they might think about it a little more.
Might think about it a little more. I don't know.
I still don't know if it's worth it if you're up front. Yo, Clippers, dude. We ran the first 30 laps under green. But as the saying goes, cautions breed cautions. Isn't that right, Rookie?
That's usually the old saying, and I think it usually works.
Tried and tested for generations. Our drivers here. Pace car light's still on. There's absolutely yellow. So Ricky, we saw the long run to start the race. We've now kind of had these little sprint runs that would, kind of simulate a green-white checkered overtime finish. What are these drivers taking anything away from that? I mean, everything's going to get a little crazy, a little hectic.
Honestly, they might be taking some stuff away from that right now, just because now that now you kind of know how these tires are going to work on restarts on short runs. It does give you a little bit of a idea of where you need to go if we end up in a green-white checkered situation.
Oh, that green flag racing next time by, it's going to be Todd Wilson, Randy Waugh. Donnie Garrett. Bob Dixon there in the 43, and Chris Elliott, the rest of your top 5. Dean Gauchero, Jeremy Menifee, Jeffrey Elliott in the 56, Tyler Hunter, and then the 03, John Godfrey, rounding out your top 10. Here for the restart. Single file restarts, not shootout style. Like we do have 2 retirees from tonight's race, the 88 of David Chin and the 59 of Ryan Johnson. Field makes their way off of turn number 4. We get ready to go back. Green flag racing here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Todd Wilson leads him back to the line. We're back underway.
Todd Wilson leads him back. That's a great jump on the 21 of Randy Waugh. Waugh's going to have some challenge here from Donnie Garrett, who stays right on his back bumper. Garrett looking to the inside. Not there yet, though. These guys coming single file off of turn 2 here. For the most part, through the top 10, the entire field actually pretty single file. First challenge for position is 75 in the 08, back in the 18th position, but they drop in line.
Battle
back
for the
towards
lead.
Front, that 21 of Randy Waugh to the inside of Todd Wilson. Sorry to cut you off there, Joe.
I'll go for it. Side by side down into turns 1 and 2. Waugh's got the bottom. Wilson kind of crowds him a little bit. Wilson goes high. Waugh forces him up the track. There's a little bit of racing. No! Hard into the inside wall. He's spinning like a top caution. Is out oil all down the back straightaway. Yellow number 4.
And you know, Joe, I hate to say it, but I was afraid of that when I saw him hit the paint there. I think he took it a little too low for those cold tires.
He almost had that car saved.
He almost did. You can just see when these guys came into turn 1 there. Waugh comes in side by side with Wilson. Waugh's got about a middle lane on the track. Wilson's moving a little higher up off the track, but what kind of does the 21 in here is that looks like he tries to crank it back down to the bottom, and then he just hits that paint. And you can see the car physically upset itself, and he just goes around. Moderate damage, so we'll have to see. I don't see the hood blowed up on that 21 for how hard he hit the wall, but you never know.
It's a dizzying camera angle there.
Get a little bit dizzy, you know? Everyone coming right back down pit road, except for the 4 of ASR HUD.
HUD gonna stay out. Jeffrey Elliott gonna stay out. Menifee gonna stay out. But the rest of our leaders bring it down the pit lane. 4 tires Sunoco fuel here.
Yeah, I think everyone's gonna take 4 tires Sunoco fuel here.
Nope.
Oh no, well, you know.
Donnie Garrett said nope.
You don't get anywhere without trying.
Get anywhere without trying. Donnie Garrett's gonna grab some track position here. Although he's going to have the 4 fresh tires right behind him. Like everyone else having reservations about the 2 tires stop. But let's go ahead. See if we can't dial up the driver of this 077. Oh no, and I think he was speeding on pit road.
Oh no.
Actually, let's wait so he can talk with him. I don't want to dial him up if his crew's trying to tell him something, you know what I mean? Guys that stayed out, coming back down the pit, or coming down the pit lanes. Jeffrey Elliott and Jeremy Menifee. Alright, let's see if we can't dial up Donnie Garrett. Hey, Donnie, this is Joe and Ricky up in the JTN booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy. How y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I think, I can't say the same for you, I think, after that pit stop. But,
Yeah. I don't know what I did. I don't remember speeding, or I mean, I kept an eye on it, but I must have.
You made too good of a strategy call. They weren't gonna let you get away with it, you know?
Right.
But we want to take time, get a chance to talk with you about your paint scheme tonight, honoring Trip.
Oh yeah, well, I got to thank Rodney Sullins for painting that car for me. Great friend of mine, and man, it's a great race for Trip. I've been racing for 23 years, I guess, online, and the majority of that was with Trip, and just him and all of his sons and stuff, and just great friends, and haven't raced with them in years, but every once in a while my phone would ring and I'd answer it, and it'd be Nature, you know who this is? And of course I knew exactly who the voice was, you know, and I'd talk to Trip for a little bit, and then, you know, we'd go on our ways again, but missed him, and like I say, he was a great racer, and him and I had some major battles over the years, and it was fun, and we'd argue, and then he'd say, "I see you tomorrow." Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. and we'd argue, then we'd put it behind us. But great guy, man. Gonna be missed.
Gonna be missed indeed. What is it gonna take for you to get his face back up towards the front?
Yeah, we're gonna come back to the front here. We just need to make some strategy calls now.
Gonna be fun to watch, Donnie. Thanks for talking with us.
Simple.
Here, and then, always love it when they take the time to talk with us, especially after penalties on pit lane, because some race car drivers out there that don't like talking to you after something like that happens. Ain't too kind.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's all good fun here tonight, so I think everyone's you know, it's all for a good
Cause.
all for a good cause here.
Yep.
So I think everyone's just having a fun time tonight. Everyone's enjoying themselves, which you love to see. I think the best kind of racing happens when everyone's just having a whale of a time out there, and I think we're seeing that right here.
We're gonna line up from the lane here with Menifee right behind him. Then it's that 72 car of Dinger. Todd Wilson gonna line up in fourth, so furthest back he's been all night. Chris Elliott there in fifth. Ricky calls back to green.
All right, coming back to green, Jeffrey Elliott gonna lead us back here in this 56 machine. All lined up, ready to roll, waiting for that pace car to come down. Here it comes, takes that hard lock turn down pit road. They're waiting for that restart zone. Here it comes. And the 56 going to get on the gas here, and green flag back on lap 49. Tonight's race, and Jeremy Menifee gets a great launch here. Gets to the outside of the 56. They're going to be side by side coming into turn one. Menifee starting to get ahead, but it looks like he's going to be a little high up the track here. We'll see if he gets a good run coming off the turn, but these guys are going to be in a dead heat coming off of turn two.
Menifee timed that restart to perfection. Still side by side down into turns 3 and 4. That 3 car a little farther up the track than I'd like to be right now, trying to battle for that lead. Do it to Elliott right now, but another drag race to the line. That lap goes to the 56-3, though, still hanging tough on the outside.
Yeah, we were talking about it, Joe, earlier. That high line's got more potency in it than I think we thought. And you see it, that 3's going to get a great run here coming off of turn 2, just being on that high line. Let him hang even with the 56. He just needs a little bit more. I think right now, I don't know if he's going to be able to make the pass up there is the issue. They are in a dead heat right now. 56, Jeffrey Elliott going to pull ahead of the 3 of Menifee here. Take that position. Menifee making another charge back, though, onto the inside. So let's see if he can make that work on the inside line.
He uses that momentum that he got from the outside line through 3 and 4 to make a big swing to the inside. Elliott, though, trying to do the crossover now down the back. Menifee protects the bottom. His caution's out once again.
Oh, we got a big wreck here on the front straightaway. 33 Jimmy Dale. Looks like the 4 was involved. The 33.
81 slow.
Yeah, the 81. Oh, that was a big mess here, Joe. Johnny Garrett in the 77 got involved in that. He was up front all day.
That's what those penalties can be killers.
Looks like there was some issue here, like the 4 of ASR HUD. I don't know if he lost a gear or if he lost the motor there, but it looked like the car wasn't at speed. Lost a ton of speed coming off of turn 4 here. 77 gets to the back of him, sends the 4 around. The 77 collects the 81. They just go hard into that outside wall. 33 gets caught in it. Very unfortunate. Looks like 4 is out with gearbox, so I do think... I'm wondering if the 4 car did shred a gear by accident there.
I would hope it'd be by accident.
Jeremy Menifee in 72. Dinger coming down pit road, so 2 cars coming down here. See if anyone else decides to come. Strategy's starting to mix up a little bit here, just because we keep getting all these cautions rapid fire. Guys taking different pit strategies. Mike Ireland coming down. 5 coming down, the 7 coming down. That's about it. 77, obviously. The guys that were involved in the accident coming down, obviously. But let's go put Jeffrey Elliott back up on point in the 56 with ASR Todd Wilson there in the 416 back into the 2nd position. Chris Elliott still hanging out in that 3rd position. This kid seemed to get away for that 3rd spot tonight.
Thank Birdie for a beautiful looking Chevrolet Corvette pace car here. Race? So, not only was Autrey a great coach to his fellow sim racers, helping them out throughout the year, feet wet in the game, teaching them great lessons about how to play this game or how to run this game. You know, Ricky, some folks don't like when I use the word play around NR 2003. But he was also a very successful youth football coach. Won many championships throughout his years of coaching, and I think that's probably what translated to him so good at helping a lot of these guys. I mean, you talk to over half these drivers in the field tonight, they have a story about how Autrey helped them out at one point or another as they were trying to learn how to get better, get faster out here on the racetrack. Field work and caution number 5. My counting correct? Pace car.
I think that's right.
Come down the pit lane this 50. A working lap 55 now of 134 in this one, Ricky. We've talked about this outside line starting to get more potent as the night has gone on. Is it a little bit better on the colder tires maybe? Because, you know, I don't think we saw it necessarily run to the same efficiency on that long green flag run we had to start this race.
I don't know, because it seems like I think it's been a little deceiving on those long green flag runs because the guys start having to move up the track anyways, so they're kind of already using that same kind of real estate. I would say I think on cold tires with more grip, you'd have more options. You'd be able to kind of throw the car in at different points a lot harder. So I do think it's something that works out a lot better on the short run.
Elliott going to lead them back to green with Wilson, Elliott, Dixon, and Hunter, your top 5. Pace car makes the hard left turn down the pit lane, and we get ready to go back. Green flag racing as we enter restart zone here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Back down and away we go. Green flag once again here from Texas, and a great restart from the 416.
416 gets a great restart. They're going to be side by side here coming into turn 1. Not yet. Jeffrey Elliott actually gets a great run into turn 1. Hangs on to that lead, so he's going to hold it, at least for the time being.
Ooh, car on the wall further on back around.
92 of Ed Vaughn, and we'll see. I think that's going to bring out a caution here, Joe.
It will. On around there. Coming by ever so slowly. Make sure we don't mess up their race cars. Replay what happened here with Vaughn in the 92. Almost looks like he lost like the right front tire with the way he went up into that outside wall.
Yeah, that's strange, because these guys all just came in. Everyone just came on pit roads. I don't think anyone was on worn rubber out there, I would think.
There you see what happened. This gives us a chance. We got a couple of, you heard them in pre-race, but we got a few words from Todd Wilson in that 416, and I have one final clip for you talking about the legacy that Autrey left behind here.
Well, Autrey's tremendous impact at ASR. Autry's tremendous impact at ASR cannot be overstated. Autrey was an incredibly faithful and loyal member of ASR and was a deeply devoted and committed admin here at ASR. You know, Autrey gave so much of his time and talent to ASR. You know, he created a lot of the fixed setups that we are still using to this day. Those are Autrey setups, you know, whether it be CTS, whether it be GNS, whether it be cut physics. I mean, he was not afraid, you know, to work on a fixed setup, and we have wonderful products, and you know, we have a great fixed setup racing. You know, that's no doubt a direct, you know, correlation and contribution of what Autrey did for us. In fact, the setup that we're using tonight's a fixed setup race, is a derivation of one of his personal setups. So Autrey was also willing to come in and open up the server anytime that we needed it to be open for practice, and you know, you could always count on Autrey to follow through on what he said he was going to do. I think that was one of his trademarks through the years. And, you know, just in closing, ASR is such a great league today because of Autrey's impact and everything that he has done for us through the years. I don't think ASR would be nearly as strong of a server and league if it were not for Autrey and his strong, clear voice and leadership through the years. So for that, we are incredibly blessed and thankful, and his legacy, you know, will live on forever. There is no doubt about that.
And again, want to thank Todd Wilson for all the great stories he shared with us, and for doing a great job organizing this, putting this together, having us come out here for tonight's race, and hopefully we're providing you with a great show at home from our side here on JTN, despite all the technical glitches we've had here tonight. And we can't thank these guys enough for giving us the honor, for giving us the privilege to come out here and call such a special event such a great race. Pace car light should be going off this time by at the line. Ricky, we saw that 416, he was able to get a really good jump that last time on the restart. Do you think maybe he knows exactly what he has to do this time to where he can maybe stay side by side through turns 1 and 2?
I think so. I think that was a good rehearsal. Now that he did it once, I don't see why he can't do it again here. But and get the 1 to go here. See if he can put that to the practice. I'm pacing around here. Now, the interesting thing, though, is going to be that if he gets there, can he hang with him? Because you saw the 56 pulled away very strongly in turn 1 there.
Yeah, talk about that. Why... At 56, he's also on older tires, so do you think he's a little more comfortable running the bottom here on the restart?
I do think so. I also think he's getting the preferred line going in more or less, so he can kind of throw it in a lot harder than the 416 can.
You know, we've kind of seen on these restarts these guys be really careful, kind of space themselves out pretty good. They try to avoid these bigger crashes and whatnot, but so far it's really been the story about the single car as of late here in this race. Get ready to go back.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, your turn.
Oh, no. You go ahead, because we're going back green. I'll table this thought.
I was just very happy that I finally set you up for something and you actually and ready to go back green flag racing. Elliott with control as he enters the restart zone. Back down and away we go. Green flag once again from Saxon.
That time 416 doesn't seem like he got the jump that he needed. Looks like that was a one-time deal there because he couldn't get side by side again with the 56 of Jeffrey Elliott. They're going to stay single file here. Looking through the field, the 6 of Billy Rose looking to lane up the track on some of these guys, trying to see if he can find some grip up there. Stay single file for the most part. First side by side we have right now is Donnie Garrett and Dean Gotro. Donnie Garrett and 048 of Solomon racing for 16th position right now.
That apron a little bit had to give Herbie a scare there on the outside, and that 048, he clears him down the front straightaway.
Yeah, these guys all cycle out a little bit here. At 416, Todd Wilson's not getting away from that 56, though. He is really fast right now, and he's on the back bumper of the 56 of Jeffrey Elliott. I think it's a matter of how, not necessarily when he's going to catch him. In the third spot, though, Bob Dixon's starting to look to the inside, the 9 of Chris Elliott. Not there just yet, but Dixon's starting to look like he's maneuvering around the track a little more, trying to find some speed.
Trying to find some air.
A little both, I think. I think they kind of go hand in hand.
One leads to the other.
Powering into turn 3 here up front. Jeffrey Elliott still hanging on to this lead. That 416 still on his back bumper, still kind of searching around to see where he can get that nose in. I don't think he's going to push it too hard if he knows he's got a faster car. It's just going to be a matter of when he wants to make that move. Looking through the field here, everyone's staying pretty organized right now, except back at that 16th, 17th spot. The 048 and the 77 back at it once again, and this time 048 starting to lose a spot. Dean Gotro to the inside of the 048 as well. Try to take that 21 or Andy Woe with him.
While trying to rebound after the self-spin that caused that Crimson Tide colored 21. But then inside wall hit the grass a little bit there. Cautions out once again on the Speedway.
Ooh, the 08 and the 7 around at turn 4. And the 81 involved as well.
Still looks like heavy damage on the back end of that 7. I misspoke. Let's get a replay.
Looks like the 08, a rookie here, just kind of loses it coming into turn 1. Or turn 3, excuse me. Was following the 5 in there, and just looks like the car over-rotated, tried to save it, couldn't hang on to it, and it just went up the track, collected the 81. Pretty big shot for the 81 to that outside wall, and then the 7 looks like he spun trying to avoid the wreck and kind of just slid into these guys.
'81 nowhere to go, gets collected into it. Something happens with the 7 and 33, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like they either made contact or maybe the 33 checked up and the 7 caught him.
Maybe the 7 checked up a little. Wow, 7 kind of hit the brakes to make sure he wouldn't He split him okay, though. He didn't run into either of those guys spinning out there in the corner. Albeit backwards.
Yeah, kind of split the gap there.
You know, usually if you're bowling, you don't want to do that.
You
I think in
usually
this-
don't. You usually don't.
Majority of the field coming down the pit time. Out again. Alright, so try to grab some of that track position back. Clear Run Chevrolet. Still pacing here. Menifee with the lead. Down here, it's going to stay out as well. Mike Ireland. Vaughn in that 92. Suspect the 03 going to stay out here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this opportunity to bring in one more. Our drivers out here on the track tonight. Hey, old driver, the 048 Herbie, you got a copy? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're all good. How you doing down there?
Doing pretty well. Car's running pretty well. Pretty happy with it.
It's a good-looking race car, but we wanted to take this time, wanted to talk with you about Autrey, and I know you had some words you wanted to share here tonight, so...
Yeah, well, first off, I want to thank, Todd Wilson and all the guys setting up this whole race. So really glad for them, and their families watching. But, on to Autrey, he was a great guy. He actually was one of the first people who, helped me with my NR stuff, helped me set it all up. He's very welcoming. Every time I come in, memories of him just, he'll be the first one to say hi to you, and I didn't know, what was going on with him for a while. I wish I would have known sooner so I could race more with him, we all want that. But Autrey, great man. He was loved by so many people. I know this everyone here tonight who showed up. Some of them, I don't know if you knew this. Some of them I was raced in like 5 years in NR and all came out to do this for him. And it's just such a great community, NR and all that. For us all to come together and to make this happen, for Autrey and his family and all that. Such a great group of people being so long. This just shows you how much he was loved in the NR community and this group. And yeah, it's really sad that it's happened, but it happens. Yeah, you'll be missing, yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better myself, and good luck here as we're about to go back green, and good luck getting up to the front of the field in that 048.
Yeah, thank you.
The yakety Herbie Solomon there at 048 going to try to work his way up towards the front as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing Menifee with control here on the restart. And back down and away we go. Green flag once again from Texas. Not a good start there for the 77.
Not a great start, but a lot of these guys already starting to filter out like crazy here. Menifee trying to hang on to the lead, but this double zero Mike Island get caught in that outside line. 92, Ed Vaughn's going to get on by him.
It is a swarm of Hornets right now. Here, right at close contact there between the 56 and 416. Wilson made a big move to the inside. Elliott going to lose some spots in that 56. Chris Elliott goes on by Mike Ireland for position. At number 9, Doritos Toyota. Here trying to get by on the bottom. He's looking to the inside of that 00 Ford Fusion. Things got shook up a little bit here. Oh, contact. It looks like 72. No caution, but 72 slow on the apron. The 81 on the pit lane.
Yeah, it's a big shuffle up there.
Let's see if we can't find what happened with Dinger and Berge.
Oh, we got car around 70. Tyler Hunter into the outside wall, and he keeps it straight. How did he just keep that straight? Oh, they're still running into each other, but they're still... boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Are we under yellow?
Still no, okay, there's a caution. Now, big wreck, 12 flipping through the air. There's a lot of cars over here, Joe.
Well, it serves us right for trying to find an incident while we were still under green. Oh my goodness, cars all over the place down the back straightaway. Let's get you a replay of that. Where does this all start, Ricky?
Oh, God, this goes on for a very long time. So we're going to have to go back to the start-finish line, hitting the line for lap 73. The 56 of Jeffrey Elliott and the 70 Tyler Hunter side by side going through the tribal. They make contact. Hunter gets completely sideways, hits the outside wall, hangs onto it, keeps going. As they're rolling, everyone starts checking up for him. And then, yeah, a little further back, 21 of Randy Waugh gets to the inside of the 048, tries to slow down for it. 048 yellows hard into the outside wall, trying to avoid the racking over corrects. And then as he's coming back around track, trying to keep it straight, everyone kind of just piles in.
That was a big save by Tyler
Looks like the 21 was still trying to get up the speed. Dean Goto gets him around. That's what caused the pile up. Big right. A lot of these guys. Jerry Mingus went flying through the air.
Mingus with that Bear Bryant. Autrey Waites, Alabama. Crimson Tide number 12 here tonight. Have you ever wondered what it was like to go to the moon?
No, not really.
Like your 2 feet being planted on the ground?
I do like my 2 feet being planted on the ground, to be honest.
Bit of SEC rivalry here down in turn 2 with the 21 and 060. Bunch of heavy lift. This isn't one of those wrecks where we're gonna be like, oh, it's easier to tell you who wasn't involved, but
I don't think so.
Yakety in the 048. Wrong place, wrong time for him, although I think he kind of stays out of the worst of it. Jimmy Day in that 48. What's the verdict? We pitting? Menifee pit.
I think everyone. Yeah, it's a pit. Why not? Why not? Why not?
Because I don't want to be.
I don't have a good counter to that. That is probably correct.
Ricky, you know, we got a lot of great racing here on JT. You know, tomorrow night we're going to be back live with the TMP late models for their season opener at the Milwaukee. Then join us again on Wednesday night with the All-Star Racing Cup Series. He plays here at ASR from the Darlington Squad Cup Series action. We'll be in Bristol with that one. The Cup Series 20th. And the All-Star Racing Cup Series again. Richmond. Back in all those races, of course, live only on JTN. Working lap 77 and 134 in this, so just under 60 laps remaining. We're at that point though where you want to be in this top half of the field.
Yeah, so definitely point of the race. I said it's a lap 50, and I kind of stand by that. You really want to be up the front of the field at this point.
Let's go ahead and he's down in the media center after being checked and released from the infield care center. Talk with Slingshot after that tough incident. Green flag, and then we'll get up in. Elliott leads them back to the line, back down and away we go. Green flag once again here from Texas. Oh, buddy.
Oh boy, they're a little loose,
75 DeWalt Chevrolet. Big moment there for Daryl Pace.
Big moment for these guys. Get it all collected, and now they're rolling here.
Figured it out.
They figured it out. But looking a little further back, Bob Dixon to the inside of the two. Curry racing side by side. This is for right now. Looks like going to cycle this through for the 8th position. But Curry's going to hang on to that.
He's made his way back up inside the top 10 for the first time in a while, it feels like. Well, while we got singled out, let's go ahead and head down to the infield care center. Talk with the driver, the number 12, old Slingshot Mingus. Slingshot, you feeling everything okay? Your bones are good, body's good after that tough incident?
Yeah, my leg is sticking out of the top of my shoulders, but I'm all right.
I think there's probably a pretty good hospital down the road that they might be able to fix that for you. But before we talk about the race tonight, we heard from you earlier in the open to the show, but talk about what it means to see all these guys out here racing tonight.
This is a tribute. Hang on just a minute, because I need to mute the broadcast. It's a perfect tribute. Just people showing up in honor of Autrey Waites. That's the kind of guy he was. People will come out of the woodwork that know him and have raced with him and have laughed with him, cried with him, and everything else in between.
And it's a great showing of support here tonight. A bunch of great paint schemes. Talk about yours, though. We saw Trip and Bear Bryant on the hood. Talk about that.
Well, days when his sons were younger, Autrey was very active in the youth football league and baseball league with his kids, and he was a coach. And of course, being from Talladega, Alabama, he was a big, like me, a big Roll Tide Alabama fan, and he loved Bear Bryant. And of course, anybody who was around when Bear Bryant was winning everything, he just idolized him, and I thought it would be appropriate to put my two favorite coaches on the hood of my car.
I love that. That one was my favorite because it's that, you know, it's that extra little detail that you had there on the hood, and knowing all the coaching he did, of course, and knowing that he was a big Alabama fan. He's probably pretty happy with how the Tide are doing this year, right?
Exactly. I mean, you know, it's an honor to be able to race in the thing, but more than that, I guess my greatest achievement over the career that I've been racing for some 18 years is I've got about a half a dozen of these cars that are in here that were my paints, and I'm very proud of that fact. That anybody would come to me and ask me for a paint job to be done, and I really enjoyed that. It's good therapy for me.
How many of these, did you have some of these still on file? How many did you have to end up recreating? It's a lot of these guys running these tribute schemes that you worked on, right?
Yeah, and some of Trips, I had to use Trips cars and adapt them to a particular driver that was running them, like I did mine, and some of them I had to do from scratch. The 8 car, the U.S. Army car that he had run, I had done a paint scheme for him in the trucks. That was an Army themed car, and Slowpoke, or Wayne Hope, wanted to have his picture on the hood, so I did his car and worked it up. That's it. That's one of my paint schemes.
They all look great, Slingshot, and unfortunate that you're out of this one early, but can't thank you enough for helping with get all the logistics done for this race here tonight, making sure all these guys look super duper good out there on the track. Thanks for talking with us. I know it's not the end to the race that you wanted, but couldn't be happier to talk with you after this one and get some more insight on all those cars that you worked on. And again, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for broadcasting this. I'm sure Trip was watching, and he's probably laughing his butt off at all the wrecks and everything that's going on. But it was truly an honor to know him, and there's just no amount of love that we have for him and his family, and our sympathies go to his family for a quick healing, and all of his brothers out here, and that's what they all are. These are a list of Trip's brothers.
Slingshot, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. Again, we're so sorry for the loss that you guys here at All-Star experienced, and can't thank you guys all enough for thinking about us and bringing us out for this one.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Joe, Ricky. You guys doing a great job, JTN. We're very happy to have you.
Thanks, Slingshot. Slingshot Vegas driving the number 12, Alabama, Coach Bear Bryant, Coach Waites car here. And Ricky, as Todd Wilson has retaken the lead here, again, just, it's a great night. It's a great night for all these guys. I think there's a lot of, well, I'm bad with words, but there's a lot of, I don't know, we're under yellow.
Oh, under yellow again. Yeah.
Big wreck.
Oh, big wreck on the back straightaway. 16 involved, 43. Bob Dixon, that was one of the front runners tonight. He's out of the race.
Oh my goodness.
Now what happened here?
A big crash.
Yes, Joe, that is generally what happens when cars are smoking. I would say there's a big... Oh, that was actually a very big crash. Oh, goodness.
Like Garrett gets a little too hot down into the corner, runs to the back of the 43 of Dixon. He goes tumbling up
Yeah,
in
he
the
goes for a ride here.
All these guys just come driving through.
How many people piled in the 47, the 16? There are a lot of good guys in here.
And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, why didn't you miss the wreck, right? Well, I mean, you're committed at that point. If you look at all those guys, they're on the apron. You can't make erratic movements down there on the flat to try to avoid this thing, and just unfortunate for all these guys.
Yeah, it's very, very, very hard to control the car in the turns when you're there.
I sense a little bit of sarcasm there.
No, I'm being totally sincere. It's very hard to control in the turns in a situation like that, to slow up. You really have two options: holding your line, and you can't really get off the gas hard or hit the brakes because the cars are so loose that it's just gonna. You've seen some guys do it tonight. They'll rotate and they just spin out. Those cars are riding on the absolute ragged edge. In the situation where you can't slam on the brakes, usually it involves sliding your car for a country mile there.
Country roads.
That's longer than a normal mile.
Oh no, car around on. Oh no, it's Slowpoke.
Where's he around?
On the pit lane. Oh no. He was blinking. Oh no.
Oh no.
Watch this. So you'll see him. Watch, you'll see him. There he is. Now he's gone. I don't know if he's gonna get into him. Don't know where he's gonna reappear. Can't find where he's gonna appear. Maybe somewhere up here. There he is. Tyler Hunter contacted. Nothing that 70 car could have done. A little vanishing act, you know?
A little bit of a magic man there.
You think he'll teach all the tricks like Penn and Teller?
Yeah, possibly.
We worked this caution working lap 94, 95 of 134. Just about 40 laps left in this one, folks. I'm Joe. He's Ricky up here in the booth for the Autrey Waites Memorial at the Texas Motor Speedway. Put on by all these guys here at All-Star Racing. Can't thank you enough for tuning in. Please, if you would ever be so kind, leave a like on the video. If this is your first time tuning in to JTN, I implore you at the conclusion of tonight's broadcast, head on over to our wide variety, our wide selection of races on demand right here on the JTN YouTube. We're back with a bunch of live racing this week, starting with tomorrow night's TMP Racing League Late Model Series race from the Milwaukee Mile. Coverage beginning then at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time from Milwaukee. Like a lot of these drivers you're seeing tonight, you're going to want to head on over to the All-Star Racing playlist here on the YouTube. We're also going to be back with All-Star Racing this Wednesday from Darlington. Coverage beginning Wednesday night at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time from the Darlington Raceway. We then head to Bristol for Bomb Squad Racing. Back with the TMP Racing League Cup Series Monday night from Homestead. All-Star Racing from Richmond, and then Bomb Squad at Las Vegas. So if you miss racing during the week, you're going to want to watch JTN. So all that coverage, of course, coming live right here on the JTN YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed, you hit the little bell, you get notified anytime we go live. If you have any stories you'd like to share, feel free to do so in chat as well. It's Todd Wilson going to lead them back to green in that number 416 Menard Chevrolet. And it's Elliott. Second and third, then Darrell Pace back and forth. Billy Bob, Billy Rose. Rounding out your top 5 in that bright colored, is it fluorescent yellow or fluorescent green Menards Ford Fusion? Or Ford
I
Mustang?
think it's fluorescent yellow.
Yeah, I do too, but I always see people call it green.
I don't think it is. Fluorescent yellow always does a weird thing where it looks like, I don't know. We'll talk about it later because they're coming back here. Pace car is off. Todd Wilson going to lead them back here. Coming to the restart zone, 416 going to get the green flag here on lap 97 of, what did you say, Joe, 134?
Yes, sir.
Wilson going to get a good jump here. These guys going to stay well behaved going into turn 1. 21 already, well. Whoa, already up top on that 21, getting loose, very loose, hangs on to it. That's going to let the 48 get to the bottom.
EJ looking for the position to the inside of Wah. Wah going to clear him there off the corner with the momentum on the outside. Back up front. 56, Jeffrey Elliott starting to get all over the back bumper of Todd Wilson. That 56 has some of that short run speed that has been oh so key to him getting out front in this one as of late.
And Elliott was right on the back bumper of Wilson there going into turn 3. Had to check up a little bit just to give him a little bit of breathing room, set himself up for the next turn. But he's got some challenge from another Elliott right there, Chris Elliott in the 9. Right on his back bumper. 56 going to go a lane up the track to see if he can kind of get underneath the 416 here coming off. It looks like it might work here. No, not yet. Not yet.
Had enough of a run to try to make a pass. Didn't have enough of a run to make the pass. He stays in second. As Todd Wilson now kind of hanging on for dear life right now out front. Everybody on equal footing on the tires. But right now that 56 is just a tick quicker.
You can tell he's definitely been showing it on track here. He's going to do the same thing again. Run about a quarter of a lane higher than the 416. Lets him really turn it down coming off the turn. And he gets underneath the 416, but he can't make it close enough to get his nose in there. So he's going to have to kind of hang out here and just hope for that 416 to screw up when he does that. Looking here, again, he is just all over the back bumper of Todd Wilson right now.
And that 56, he's really cutting the wheel coming off the corner. He's really turning it to the left to try to get underneath the 416. Don't you want to let it yaw up towards the outside wall to kind of get as much speed as possible down these straightaways?
Kinda, but it's also gripping up really well when he does that. So I don't know. You can't really argue with the results of it. I don't know how it's going to fare for his tire wear, but it works. You gotta wonder though, how much is Todd Wilson pushing the issue right now?
True.
But these guys are really stacked up behind him, too. This 416's been fast all night, but it seems like everyone's just all over him right now.
And he's really starting to fade. He's getting to that territory where you stop calling it fading and you start calling it blocking in that 416 Menards Chevrolet.
That's for sure. Right behind him, 75, Darryl Pace, just been moving his way up, lap after lap this entire race. Hadn't been talking about him a whole ton earlier. Started further back and up to the 3rd spot around the 9 of Chris Elliott here. Billy Rose in the 6, another same story with the 2 of Curry right behind him. All kind of in the same position, these guys. A lot of them started the race a little further back, weren't necessarily in the front shuffle, and then sort of made their way meticulously up to the front.
That's what happens when you have these longer races, right? You have comers and goers throughout the event.
That is very true. And now these guys up front really racing each other hard for the lead, though. 56 is starting to lose a little bit of ground to the 416 this time by still hanging close. You got to wonder if Elliott's just trying to figure out how to set this up, or if he's just if those tires are starting to even out, if maybe the 416 is starting to come to him.
I like the idea that maybe he's just pacing himself right now, too. I mean, you want to save these tires. We're kind of on that cusp of the fuel window as well, so, you know. I mean, I don't know, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
30 laps remaining. We'll coming to 29 to go in this one here from the Texas Motor Speedway. This is Autrey Waites Memorial. You're watching the battle for the lead. Jeffrey Elliott trying to find a way around Todd Wilson. Wilson started on pole, has been fast all night long, has finally gotten back out front. after a bunch of pit stop shuffles through the middle portion of this race. We've seen a couple big incidents, Ricky. How many guys have retired from this?
Right now, looking at the list, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cars have retired from this race.
Cars out of this one of our 35 that started it. So still a decent-sized field. Still a lot to be lost if you make a mistake here late in the going.
You guys, 8 car just came down pit road, a slowpoke. People pitting right now, interestingly enough. Wondering if they're trying to pit very early here to see if they can kind of make some ground up on tires. But for the moment, no one else seems to be taking it.
Gotta be careful.
We'll be careful.
I mean, that 56 gets such a good run. He's beaten the 416 down the front straightaway. Have you noticed that? But this 416 is a little bit better here off of 2.
Yeah, I think that's where
Maybe not
it's
this
amazing
time.
how little of a difference it is between these two guys, but it seems like it keeps happening. 56 looking to the inside again, can't do it. 416 hangs on to that lead. Todd Wilson's really, he just got a big charge for the 56 there. Wilson really doing everything in his power to try to keep that 56 behind him every time that Elliott gets there. And Jeffrey Elliott's going to start sweating under the collar a little bit here. Darrell Pace, that 75, really starting to close in on the 56.
75 number seems to always make it to the front here at Texas.
Yeah, just always. Kind of looks like Davey's number, too.
It does. Of course, our colleague Davey Hazard. Our 75 car as well. Throughout the field, though, we're single file right now.
Jeffrey Elliott got its nose underneath the 416. Gotta get some clean air on that left front fender. That's what he needs. And he's really trying to make this work. He keeps getting right there to the 416. He just can't pull it off just yet. But he's got a great run through turns 1 and 2 here.
I'm back 98. Making the pass on Randy Waugh for position. Waugh, the 08 of Rook. Back up towards the front, though. That 75 is all over. Back bumper of the 56.
This top 4 just will not get away from each other at all, Joe. I'm not seeing them space out at all. Jeremy Menifee on pit road right now, too.
That would be the last stop for the free car, so I have to think maybe these guys, they're closing in on that window to, well, they're in the window to make to the end of the race, but maybe closing in on where they want to pit for the final time tonight at Texas. Our Nick Curry gets around Billy Bob.
The 48 down pit road, the 03 down pit road, the 7, 72, 6 coming down. Some of these front runners starting to come down. Billy Rose, Randy Waugh.
Well, now it's time for these other guys to think about throwing the left hand out the window and making the duck down the pit lane. Keep our eyes on the leaders. Because if you're the first guy to come, there's some ground to be gained, right?
There's some ground to be gained.
Not a lot, though.
No, I don't know how much is going to be a lot pitting early, to be honest.
I think there'd be... like the 6. Billy in that 6 car. I think he might be able to get back around Nick Curry in that 2 car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly.
I think, but... Or like 56, say if Elliott gets down before Wilson. Might be able to hop him.
Could make an interesting factor here. They're catching the 21 who just came down pit road.
We know that 21 had a lot of pace early on in the race before he had the big moment coming off of turn 2 and smacking the inside retainer.
He might have some damage to that car, too. That might be hindering his performance a little bit.
Got the fresh tires, and right now he's kind of holding up these leaders. Big moment there. Now going to have to go to the outside of that car coming off the pit lane.
That's
not
what
the
Todd
05.
Wilson wants, because it's making him have to deviate from his line, and that's letting Jeffrey Elliott kind of search around and get some opportunities to make a charge on him.
That's Stanley in that 05. He's running the Marlboro main scheme that Autrey ran when he first started racing here at NR.
21's starting to pull away from these guys. I don't think they're going to have to deal with 21 much. You got to wonder when these leaders are going to come in. Like you said, Joe, they're going to have to pit at some point. We've seen the 6 come in. We've seen a few of the guys in that front little scuffle within the top 10 come in, but these leaders still hanging out here.
As long as those guys stay on the lead lap, if you get a yellow, they're not going to come down the pit lane. They're going to grab all that track position. I mean, now you're cutting it kind of close to where you know, a yellow comes out, you're going to lose way too much.
7th position, 92, Ed Vaughn saying he's pitting this time. So some of these guys, some more in the top 10, starting to put their hands out the window, saying they're pitting. So 92 makes it to pit road safely. But again, these guys are all starting to kind of do that. And you got to wonder how much longer these leaders want to stay out. If we're going to 134, we're getting close to that 10-lap window. I would imagine you want the freshest tires possible. You want to almost probably ring it out, because if you can make it close to the end of a fuel run before you have to pit, you wouldn't even need to take 4 tires. 75 with Daryl Pace gets to the inside of the 56 with Jeffrey Elliott. As we're talking, though, Pace going to jump past him. Looks like Elliott's going to kind of let him have it.
Elliott's really falling off the cliff here, but Pace got down into turns 1 and 2 a little too hard. That's going to allow Elliott to get back to the inside. Challenge back for that 2nd position. He clears him down into 3.
You got to wonder if these guys are starting to think about pitting. The 9's going to come down. Chris Elliott at Doritos machine coming down right now here.
Curry
onto
coming
the
down.
apron. No, he's sideways, but he hangs on to it. So Chris Elliott come to pit road. 2 car of Curry comes to pit road.
His college football team.
An eye out here, though, because this means these leaders have to come soon. These guys are really starting to wait around here. Now, I would imagine they're going to be coming very shortly. But Jeffrey Elliott, I would imagine, is definitely going to come if that car is starting to fall off. You got to wonder, too, if that 56 is waiting because he knows he has short run speed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the 416 has had decent long run speed, but the 56 has really good short run speed. 75 gets on by the 56. Now the 56 back to that 3rd spot. But it might be a matter of just waiting it out.
Todd Wilson, he's kind of gained a little bit of a gap back to 2nd, but Daryl Pace in that 75. He is moving right now in that DeWalt Chevrolet.
Yeah, last time by a 28.7 for Todd Wilson. Daryl Pace ran a 28.4, so that 75 is cooking a little bit here. Let's see, Daryl Pace bails out, though, to come down to pit road.
Really
Looks
aggressive.
like 56, Jeffrey Elliott coming with him, so here comes these.
Ooh, Elliott's
he's
not
second
gonna.
and 3rd
Elliott
place.
didn't make
now,
it.
all 56, Jeffrey Elliott gets the inside wall a little bit.
He didn't make
Keeps
pit
it
road
clean, though,
speed.
so I guess
He didn't
he's
make
no
pit
harm
road
done.
Speed.
But now this leaves the question of how much longer does Todd Wilson hang out? Looks like he's got the hand out the window. Todd Wilson going to pit this time for the 416. Trying to wall that down, try to get down to speed. Be careful here, because these guys have been locking him up all night. Tyler Hunter coming down with him. That's going to bring a leader down. Now the question is going to be, 56 gets off pit road. 75 had some issues. Daryl Pace. So Jeffrey Elliott's going to be in that 2nd spot. Can Jeffrey Elliott leapfrog our leaders? Where does he fall relative to the...
he had to have sped coming down the
416.
pit lane. Ooh, 060 Coach. See what the call is here on that 416. It's going to be a splash and go. Wilson Hunter with the same idea.
You know, splash and go compared to these guys that took tires. How's that going to factor out too? Because they're going to be a lot faster.
Well, you're hoping that there isn't a caution now. Because remember, we do have overtime here in this race.
Oh, 21 is around. Is that going to bring out caution? It does.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
That might be a JTN jinx.
Right when you said it, Joe. Right when you said it.
I said it. Let's get a replay. Andy Waugh gonna go for... Oh, it looks like maybe contact with the 47 of Prim. Too fast, Todd. That might have been lag. Go all on him.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
I
comes
mean...
in and takes tires.
You think... are
or
they?
does anyone stay out, though?
I wouldn't come in and take tires.
The 46 got splash and go. Joe, do we know who took tires of that front group last time?
I have no idea, man. I thought the 56 was speeding. He's still out there. Curry looks like he's gonna think about coming down the pit lane, but thinks wiser of it. Menifee, Billy Bob, Billy Rose, Bartlett. Those three come down the pit lane. Ed Vaughn, Dinger, that 05 of Stanley. Well, everybody loves a shootout, huh? Everybody likes to be in a shootout, though. Everyone loves to watch one, and good thing for us, Ricky, we're up here in the booth. Couldn't think of a better way to end this one.
Good thing we're up in the booth.
Because you know we'd be the... Ooh, what's your prognosis, Dr. Ricky?
What's my prognosis? I don't know. Race. Don't wreck. Don't wreck. Or wreck and make it look flashy. I don't know. Yeah, if you wreck, you always make it look cool. Do cool like kickflip or something.
Yeah. I was before we get real serious here, I was on the bus going down to the stadium yesterday. And there's a guy outside of one of the dorms, and he was on his skateboard, and he tried to do a kickflip, and he fell right on his butt. His skateboard like went right into the... He was so lucky that the bus I was on didn't run it over. Looked like an idiot. Welcome to Ann Arbor. Don, we miss you, but we're glad to see you're able to tune in for the end of this one. All these guys here are really appreciative of all you folks tuning in here tonight to watch what has been a spectacular race, a great way to remember a man that wasn't only a friend, a true family member, here at All-Star, and man, oh man, we hope that you guys have had a fantastic time watching this race. Remember to stick around. We're going to talk with our top 3 finishers after this one as well. We'll get to talk to them about the race and also about this race here tonight and why it's so... once again, want to give a shout out to Autrey's sons, if you guys are out there. Jimmy, Mike, if you're tuning in, can't thank you enough for tuning in. If you're seeing this on replay, can't thank you enough. And also, our condolences to you and your entire family on your loss. It's not easy, but we hope that we've at least been able to bring a lot of good memories back here tonight. And we're going to make some new ones. At the end of this one, the Autrey Waites Memorial here at the Texas Motor Speedway, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing next time by Todd Wilson in the 416. It's the last voyage here in All-Star Racing. He's going to line up on the point. Tyler Hunter, Nick Curry going to start second and third. Jeffrey Elliott, Daryl Pace going to round out your top 5. Those guys I do believe are on tires, though, so going to be interesting to see what happens at the end of this one. Welcome, Greg Lovell. I think you know how these shows go. You know you're about to see some great stuff here at the end of this one. Todd Wilson with control of this race. Tyler Hunter going to try to find a way around in that number 70 Dr. Pepper Chevrolet. Field makes their way off of turn 4 for what a lot of these folks are hoping is the last restart. Corvette pace car makes the hard left turn down the pit lane. Todd Wilson with control. And back down and away we go. Green flag and Wilson with the big wheel spin out front.
Wilson spins the tires there. He's trying to block, but he can't. Tyler Hunter gets to the inside. The fuel Curry to the outside. Nick Curry's going to make a huge charge on the outside here for that lead.
And Hunter cut Wilson a huge break there. Curry going to look back to the inside. Jeffrey Elliott into the outside wall. He will not be a factor in the end of this one unless we get a caution. Curry down to the bottom. He makes the pass for the lead. He takes over the point. Daryl Pace going to go through to second.
Nick Curry is now sitting on point here. Daryl Pace in second. Todd Wilson really starting to fall back on those old tires. Had a big problem with that wheel spin, but it looks like those tires really are not gripping up after that heat cycle.
2 laps remaining in this one. Can Pace make his way around Nick Curry for the lead? Field comes off a turn number 2. 3 wide throughout. We keep our eyes, though, set on the lead as there is a cluster behind them.
Daryl Pace has got that nose to the inside. Nick Curry gets on the back bumper. Curry moves up the track. He blocks. Pace has to get on the binders a little bit here. There's 1 lap to go here, Joe.
1 lap to go, but Ricky, are you ready for another restart?
Oh, no.
It's overtime here from the Texas Motor Speedway.
Now that's a green-white checker no matter what, correct?
I believe so. Unless is the race over? Wait a minute. Did we really just... Oh no. I think the race is over. Oh no. Well, checkered flag is in the air. Race is official.
No, they're coming down for tires.
No, everyone has to come down the pit lane, the 416.
Ah.
We'll park it for the final time at the start-finish line.
So 75 Daryl Pace gets that?
I believe so. We'll get you a replay momentarily, folks, but Todd Wilson gonna park that 416 Autrey Waites one final time here at the line.
It was at the 2, actually. See what the call is, because they were past the line when the caution came out. So it thinks that Nick Curry would be leading.
So Nick Curry's the winner.
So Nick Curry would have won.
Wilson parks at 1. on to our post-race coverage momentarily. We'll talk with our top 3 as well as the driver this. Ricky, though, it was a night of, I think, for a lot of drivers, some healing.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's a fantastic race. A lot of fun to watch, and all for a good cause here.
Try to get your results. Let's see if we can't look at that incident there at the end of this race. Like the 3 of Menifee gonna be all over the back bumper of the 47. Prim, they're gonna make contact, go for a spin. Calamity looking like a super speedway here coming to the checkers. Here again, the battle coming into the line between Nick Curry, Daryl Pace. Pace, all kinds of pace. Curry cuts him off. Takes the checkered flag home with the wreck behind him. And we ride off into the sunset. '16 takes its final laps here in All-Star Racing. It will forever be put on the shelf. So we'll move on to our post-race coverage here on JTN. We'll try to talk with our top 3 drivers after this one. Again, another great race here. Can't thank all these drivers enough for putting on a great show here tonight. And doing it in remembrance of a great man. All right, let's see what we can do, Ricky. Yeah. You're gonna go up there. You're gonna go wrangle in our guys that we're gonna talk with. I send you down onto the pit lane.
How do I, right, okay.
All right, you just go down there. All right, he's gone. Shuffled him out of the booth. Goodness.
They're all set to be moved, Joe.
Okay. Actually, talk with Stanley. Stanley, you got a copy?
Yes, mate. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Let's not. I don't think it was the night you were looking for in that 05. Is that correct? Finishing wise.
Yeah, it's sort of just a few more yellows, and you're right. Sorry, mate.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, I mean, a few more yellows, but let's talk about what it meant to come out here and race here tonight, especially with that amazing looking race car you had.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is for our friend, Trip. Just excuse me for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right now. Yeah, this is for our friend Trip. I didn't come out here to win. I just come out here to pay tribute to. Pardon me.
Good.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm finding it very hard to actually talk now. It's a bit emotional. Yeah, yeah, look, mate, I'm finding it really hard to talk, and I'm sorry, but I'm just so emotional. And that, but I'll settle down in a minute and I'll have a chat.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, mate. Yeah, look, yeah, the race was fine. Just a few more yellows than there should have been. But that's racing. That happens. I hope if Trip is watching, I hope he enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself paying my respects to Trip, and that's why I'm here.
I'm sure he enjoyed it, and I'm sure he felt good seeing you guys all come together too. Right, right? 'Cause I know a lot of folks haven't come out in a while to race all together, and I think that's a big thing with showing how much he meant, not only, maybe to those guys that have been racing here year after year, to be part of the force that brings guys together that haven't been together. You guys did a fantastic job here to honoring him. I'm sure he was watching. I'm sure Island enjoyed the show on, and it's hard, right? It's hard, but I think everyone, I hope at least everyone feels a little bit better. You know what I mean? I hope everyone found something in tonight's.
Yeah,
Mate,
yeah, yeah. I'm a little bit sorry for that bit of a sookie carrying on there, but yeah, this was all for Trip. That was the whole idea of this race, was for Trip, and I hope that if he was watching, I hope he enjoyed it, and yeah, that's all I can say. And thanks to the ASR admins for letting me race in honour of Trip. I really appreciate it, and God bless you, Trip. Rest in peace, mate.
Thanks for taking the time to talk with us after this. Pray for you. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
No problem. Pleasure.
All right, let's bring in our. Am I getting this right, John? Third place finisher here tonight.
That's right.
Good run for you, right? A good race for that 03 team. Kind of made your way up throughout the night.
Just managed to stay out of trouble, keep my nose clean, and gosh, I think I gained like 4 spots on that last restart. We went off a turn 2 and just saw Jeffrey Elliott graze the wall, and then we went down into 3, and Todd and somebody else went skating up the track. So yeah, I was a benefactor in that last restart.
That last restart was hairy. Take us through that though. When you see those guys kind of spinning their tires, because they're on older stuff, right? How do you kind of set yourself up so that way maybe you don't get run over, you don't run anyone else over? Is there a checklist of moves that you have to make, a checklist of things you have to do, or is it just kind of you're in the moment, you go for it?
Well, no, I'd say my priority was just not getting run over, because I was one of those guys out there on older tires too. I did not go down pit road before that last restart, and I was just hoping to
maintain my position and keep my nose clean. And gosh, everything worked out in my favor, and I managed to keep it in a straight line. But I was not looking to be too aggressive.
Hey, not too aggressive tonight, but still come home with a great third place finish. Talk about though, everyone came out for this night. What does it mean to you? What do you think it means to everyone? All the support for Trip.
It's tremendous. A great event for a great man. I had the pleasure, I had the honor of racing against him many times, and just a wonderful man, and he is sorely missed here in this community. It's so heartwarming to see everybody show up and race in his honor.
John, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk with us after this one, but before we let you go, third place finisher here tonight. Anyone else you want to shout out?
Just want to thank Todd and Billy and all the guys that put this together. It was just such a fitting tribute to a wonderful man.
Congratulations once again on the third place finish here tonight. Is it real quick? 'Cause I probably said it wrong during the race. It's Godfrey, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Look at me. I'm a professional broadcaster guy. John, thanks for taking the time to talk with us. And again, congratulations on the.
Thank you so much. Great job on the broadcast.
John Godfrey, driver of the 03, third place finisher here tonight. We go ahead and bring in.
I want to say it was either 3 or 4 cautions.
Oh no.
Hey, Joe.
Hey. Let's. We struggled with timing and scoring tonight here in the JTN booth. Second place finisher, right, Daryl?
That is correct.
Okay. Let's talk about your race, because it seemed like you had a super speedway mentality, because we didn't see you get up front towards the end. Is that my correct line of thought, or am I completely tripping?
No, that would actually be correct. I mean, it's really how I race every race is. I try to give and take as much as possible, and when it gets down to about 20, 25 to go, that's when I start trying to make my way forward. Luckily, with how pit stops fell and really how the action was on the racetrack, I was able to stay up there and get as high as I did. It was all in all a good race.
Great race, and to make it even more extravagant. But let's talk about the end of the race real quick, because there was a lot going on, right? Everyone was waiting to make it up. I don't know. Was it in the hope that maybe there would be that late race yellow, or what was or was it just everyone was just kind of waiting around to pit?
Really, it was the usual waiting game of pitting. Who's going to pit first? Who's going to pit sooner than the others? Try to manage tire wear, which is what I was doing pretty much from about halfway down, halfway of the race to go. Really managing those tires, trying not to push it too hard, knowing that I was probably going to end up taking 2 on that last pit stop, and that's exactly what I did.
2 tires worked really well. He had that restart with those in those tires. What more did you need maybe to get around Nick there to try to take home the victory?
Honestly, probably another lap. I had him off of 4. Just cracked it just a touch, just to let him go, because I wasn't going to wreck him, especially in a race like this. So.
Come on. No. Well, then let's talk about that, because this was a very special race here tonight, a special event. What did it mean? Because we kind of asked this question, but what did Autrey mean to you? What did it mean to see all these people out, all these guys out here tonight to participate in a spectacular race?
Well, it meant a lot. I mean, really, what it means for me, I was not as close to Trip as a lot of the guys, a lot of the, the long-standing guys within ASR. Now, I've been here for, I want to say 6-7 years. I do have, memories of Trip. However, it meant more to me for the guys of ASR to have this kind of victory, if you will, of putting together a good race, having a decent race, having a race that ended on the green. That actually means more to me than anything else. So Trip was a good man. Every piece of communication I had with him was always pleasant. It was pretty obvious he loved ice cream, and hey, you can't go wrong with that.
Wrong with that, indeed. Can't go wrong with the second place finish here tonight at Texas. Daryl, before we let you go, though, anyone else you want to shout out?
Really, just everybody at ASR. Everybody that participated tonight. Everybody with the long-standing history within ASR, DC, Postal, Bergie, HUD, all these guys. I appreciate everything that they do. Todd for putting it on. So thank you very much.
Daryl, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after this one. Great looking race car out there too with those DeWalt colors. And again, congratulations on the second place finish.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Daryl Pace, driver number 75, DeWalt Chevrolet. We now bring in the guy that did what his college football team couldn't do yesterday. Nicholas Curry, driver the number 2. You got a copy there, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
I thought that was a pretty good burn on my part, so it's going pretty good.
Yeah. I know you were waiting for it.
I was waiting for it. I'm really glad I get to talk with you after this one, because where did you come from to win that race?
I qualified 13th, and then I got up to about 6th, and then I blue screened. So I came back in and went from 34th up to the front. So, but tonight it wasn't about me. It wasn't about anyone really. It was all about Autrey. My focus was to put on a race and do everything for him tonight. He was a great guy, and I really miss him.
We heard snippets from you earlier on in the broadcast at the top of the show. Everyone is really hurting, right? Everyone's really missing a guy that was such a big part of ASR. But talk about, for you, what made Autrey so special? What made him so beloved by everyone here?
A lot of things. He had a significant impact on everybody, and he was always there to help everyone. And his presence, everyone would just sit and gather and talk to him forever and just sit and listen to him talk. But he always cared about everything, and he would do what he could to the best of his ability to help all of us out.
I think everyone did a little bit of helping each other out, try to heal from everything. But Nick, before we let you go, again, congratulations on the win here tonight. Fantastic restart at the end of this one. Anything else? Anyone else you want to shout out? Closing thoughts on the night.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank Todd Wilson for putting everything together. He worked countless days and hours of his time putting everything together, and Billy Bob for hosting it, and Nelson, Dave, all the ASR admins for doing what they do to put on a good race tonight, and you guys, of course, for coming in and broadcasting it and calling it. And just pretty much the entire league and you guys, you guys do a really good job and put out a good product for everybody.
Thank you for that, because we hope we do a decent job at least. Glad you said good. That makes me feel. But Nick, thank you so much for talking with us. There was a lot of emotions tonight, and again, congratulations on the victory here at Texas. What was will always be such a special race. And congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Curry, driver of the number 2. Let's. Billy? Am I bringing you in here? Am I bringing Todd too?
Yes, sir.
Or just you?
I think it's just me, Joe. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not absolutely certain, but
Okay.
I think Todd's going to go last.
Yes. Okay. What a race, huh? Is this everything when you guys put this thing together? Everything you hoped and dreamed for?
Not really, but we hoped that we would have this many people, but we hoped that we wouldn't have that many cautions. A lot of the people that started in the front suddenly found themselves in the back, and I don't know what, it's like The only thing that I wanted to do is just keep the fenders on it. And I don't know if everybody else had that mentality or not, Joe. I have no earthly idea.
Well, let's talk about keeping the fenders on it, because you slowly but surely made your way up toward the front of the field, because I don't think we really saw that 6 car up inside the top 10, it felt like, until maybe 30, 40 laps to go. Do you think that having that opposite mindset of some of those guys, like you said, that mindset of I want to keep all 4 fenders on, I want to keep all the wheels one direction, do you think that's what led to having a good run?
Well, if you stop and think about it, Joe, that was his mentality.
For all the people that
And having said that, Joe, I want to say one thing. Autrey was like a brother to me. And I think we done a good job with what we had. I think the race was a good race. I hope he smiled about it.
I think he definitely, because I think coming out of tonight, it seems like everyone was able to do some healing, right? And I think that's always been primary focus for you, right? And that's always been the mission. To come out here and have fun, right? And I think you guys were really able to do it in memory of Trip, of Autrey. Just, it, whether you ran his favorite track, right? If I'm not mistaken, setup that he helped build, right? You guys did so much. Everyone was
He
running.
did build it.
Okay.
He did build it, but the difference is we took 5% tape off of it.
Well,
That's all we done to it.
Because no one could drive like him. Had to make the you guys did such a great job here tonight honoring him and his memory, but not only that, but his legacy that through all the people we've gotten to hear from tonight, through all the people we've gotten to talk to, you can tell that he meant something to everybody. You know what I mean? Whether it be that they talked to him for 10 minutes, for 5 minutes, or for 20 years, or whatever it may be.
I do. I understand completely.
But Billy,
he's a fine man. He's a fine man, fine friend.
when you talked about it like a brother, right? I think that's hard to find, and that's something very special. Again, we're so sorry for your you put on a great show for him tonight.
From probably 2007, 2008, somewhere in that neighborhood, up until the last time that I went to his house was from 2007 to 2019. I went up there every summer. I was at his house. I spent a week at his house every summer for 10 to 12 years. And Todd had asked me if I wanted to talk about, share stories about Autrey and I. And I told him, I said, you got to know that what Autrey and I talked about is probably not for public consumption. I was I got up there one time one year, and I told him, I said, I sat down in the recliner in his man cave, and I said, I'll stay back over here and I'll be your crew chief. I bet he hadn't run 20 laps and I was asleep. He said, "Sound like a damn bear over there." He said, "That's one hell of a crew chief I've got there. He's sitting over there snoring away." Oh boy.
Billy, I have a feeling if I ask you to share any more stories, they won't be as tame as that one. Is that correct?
I can share one more. I
Okay.
can share one more story that is fairly tame,
Huh.
and this is classic Autrey Waites. We were racing at Pocono, and I was just eating him alive in the tunnel turn. So I got on the inside of him before I went down into turn 3, and I couldn't hold it down there. It started washing up, and he was beside me. And at that time, I didn't race. I always worked second shift, and I don't know why I was at home that particular night, but I was at home and I raced. And I bumped him, and he went up into the wall, and I was, maybe halfway between turn 3 and the start finish line, and all of a sudden, in that slow southern, dry Autrey Waites tone, he said, "You racing for a championship?" He said, "If," he said, "I am." I'm going like, "Oh my!" And that was all it was ever said about it.
I love it. Billy, first off, thank you so much for talking with us after this. And we are so sorry for your loss. And thank you for having us come out and be part of putting on a great event here. All the work you guys did to get this thing to work. You did a fantastic job, and I know all these guys are we are too. Well, it's time to talk.
I do appreciate you guys, Joe. I haven't, I'm going to watch the broadcast, and it's like I always know you guys put on a good show, and there's no telling what the hell was being said in there, but I certainly do hope. I certainly do hope that the story about whenever he sent his e-machine to me back in 2006 or 7, I hope that story was broadcast because it was a classic. Autrey and I always had our classic moments. It's like, yep, that's a classic, Autrey. We won't never forget that one.
Billy, I think you guys put on one more classic for again. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, Joe, and thank you for coming and putting on a good show with us.
Hey, thanks for thinking of us, Billy.
You betcha.
Congratulations on getting this one off the ground and doing a great job here tonight, adminning. Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you, Joe.
Billy Bob, driver number 6 here tonight. As we now get ready to talk, one final guy that got this thing to go. Driver of the number 416, number 11 in your hearts, Todd Wilson. Todd, what did tonight mean? Now that it's all said and done.
Tonight was unbelievably special for me personally. Seeing 34 of Autrey's closest friends and comrades on this game through the years, all on the track together at his favorite track, Texas Motor Speedway. All the special tribute schemes, that was the most amazing special race I have ever been a part of since I've been playing this game. And everyone came together tonight, to honor the life and the legacy of just a wonderful man. And I'm, just so thankful for everyone coming out tonight and helping make this a reality. I think Autrey would have been very proud of the effort put forward tonight.
I think he's proud of it. You guys put on a great show. You were out front most of the night in that 416. But I don't think he wanted anyone else to win in that number.
Yes. Well, he would probably be giving me a scolding right now because I did not exercise sound strategy. Because Autrey was a master strategist, and anyway, I put it on the pole and led a bunch of laps and kept it in clean air most of the night, and we came down to those green flag pit stops at the end of the race, and I was contemplating what to do. Do I take fuel only? Do I take fuel and tires? I was waffling back and forth, like, what do I do? What do I do? And then I finally said, I'm just gonna do fuel only, and hopefully I can gain the track position I need to hopefully stay up front and win the race. And what as soon as I got back out there on the track, I saw the caution lights come on, and I was like, ugh. I knew that I was done. Tyler Hunter and I both did not take tires, and we both whispered to one another, and we were like, "We're done." And I was like, "Yeah, we're done." And but I was able to hang on for a fourth place finish. But yeah, I think Autrey would probably have advised me to take 2 tires there at the end. But anyway, it is what it is, and hey, I'll take fourth place any day. And but I really wanted that win, tonight. It was a special race, but I'll just have to settle for fourth. So, but we all know Autrey was the winner of tonight's race anyway. So, and that's understood. So,
I mean, that 416 was the last car on track, I think, right?
that's exactly right. And to that point, the 416 number has been retired. As soon as I pulled the car to the start finish line, everyone else was off the track at that time, and when I crossed the start finish line, in effect, Autrey won the race, and we will no longer have that number available for any race at ASR. That number has been retired, and it will go into the ASR Hall of Fame. Sure.
Great thing. I think it cements that. Right, you talked about it. We were able to play the clip earlier, but the legacy that he leaves here at ASR, I think that's. We talked with Billy about the setup here. The only change you had to make. Ever you want. What does it? What the big takeaway from just that there were so many people that appreciated him, that loved him, thought of him as a friend, a brother. Is that the biggest takeaway from tonight? What is the biggest takeaway for you?
Yeah, I think for me the biggest takeaway in this race is how much he was truly loved and respected. I mean, to have 34 drivers, like I said earlier, in here, we had to. I mean, that was not even all of the people that wanted to race tonight. We actually, we had to. That was a tough process in and of itself. Just deciding, because we had limited spots. There were so many other people who wanted to be able to have a crack at this and be able to join this event. And I think it speaks volumes for the person that Autrey was. He is, like I said, just a truly remarkable person, so well respected. I mean, you heard it tonight in all the tributes. He had so many wonderful qualities. He was a man of many talents, and he just meant so much to so many people in here. And some people never even met him in person, and yet they had such profound respect for him, and that just speaks volumes of who you are. And I think that that certainly speaks volumes for Autrey. And I hope we did him proud tonight. I think he would be proud of the result. And his loss is just a huge void that will never be filled here in this league, and certainly in my personal life as well, because I thought just the world of Autrey. And but yes, that would be my takeaway.
Great race here. You guys put on a fantastic show. I'm putting. Before I ask you for your final thoughts, thank you so much for having us come out for this one. It's our honor, and we can't wait to cover the rest of the All-Star Racing playoffs here throughout the fall on Wednesday nights. But final thoughts here after tonight.
Yes, and I want to start by thanking you all. There was a lot of coordination, a lot of logistical planning that went into this race, and you all were there every step of the way, making sure that every I was dotted, every T was crossed. So I certainly appreciate you all at JTN Network. I have to thank just a whole contingency of admins tonight for all that they did. First, I got to thank Billy Bob for all that he did in helping plan this race. I could not have done it without him. And Postal tonight, he was the head administrator of the race. He did a fantastic job. When you've got 34 cars on the track, that is not an easy race to admin. And he led that contingency and did a wonderful job. And got to thank Bergie, Don Bergen, who came out tonight. I hadn't seen him in many years. He painted a wonderful pace car that you all saw tonight in the broadcast, and was able to race in the race. And it was good to see him, and just gonna have to thank him for everything he did. And Greg Artlip and Jimmy Johnson, Wayne Dinger, just all the admin. And to all the painters who helped paint a lot of these special memorial schemes. I know Tyler, Nick Curry helped paint some. Gary Mingus did quite a few paint jobs himself. So thanks to Gary for all that he did. There were so many cool schemes. It was very nostalgic to be on the track tonight and see all those cool schemes. And, it was because, Autrey loved those bright, colorful schemes. And there was a lot of bright schemes out there tonight, so that was pretty special. I also want to give a shout out to his sons, Jimmy and Chris and Mike, who were watching tonight. I know their families were watching, so I hope they enjoyed the broadcast and everything that we did for Autrey. And I have to congratulate Nick on the great job that he did. He had the right strategy at the end of the race, and he took 2 tires there on that last stop, and that was just enough grip that it took to hold down the fort for 2 laps and take the win. So congrats to him and to Daryl Pace and to John Godfrey for finishing out the podium. And I'm just honored to be a part of this night. And Autrey, may he rest in peace. And, we will continue to do the best we can to carry on his legacy and honor his life and all that he has done for us.
Todd, thank you so much again. Putting this together, bringing us out, and talking with us after this, sending us all those great congratulations. Once again on pulling off a fantastic show. The 4th place finish. I know it's not what you wanted out of the night. Can't thank you enough, and good luck with these playoffs coming up too on Wednesday nights. I know you're gonna have a good shot out there. And again, thank you so much. And so sorry for everyone here's at ASR and Autrey Waites family. Again, thank you so much for bringing us out here for this.
Yes, thank you, Joe and Ricky. We appreciate you.
Todd Wilson, driver of the 16 Chevrolet, and that'll conclude our coverage here of the Autrey Waites Memorial at the Texas Speedway. Folks, I always ask, hit the subscribe button, throw a like on the video. I'm going to ask you for something different. If you made it all the way to the end, if you have a memory to leave, if you have a moment, a thought, whether you're in the live chat or maybe you're watching the, leave it down below. Use this to share those stories, to share those memories, because there's a lot of them out there, and I'm sure there's so many more good ones than what. For all of us here at JTN, thank you so much. And again, a big thank you to all the folks here at ASR for bringing us out, for Todd Wilson for bringing us out, and Billy Bob and all the admins for putting together a great show. But we will see you guys next time live here on JTN. For all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for Ricky Collette, I've been Joe Townetwork. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday evening. See you guys next time live right here on JTN. Yeah, and they're gonna be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're gonna be. Oh, Africa!
What the?
Turn 4 into the tri-oval. Whitehill is through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
All right, and they're wrecking behind him. We got cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, but it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Comes Musa. Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's going to use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. So Musa gets it.